TRS News.
Good morning, Rose Dalton.
So, cosmetic surgery used to be such a taboo subject.
Oh, yeah.
Well, now you can talk about Botox and nobody raises an eyebrow.
That was a good Botox joke.
Aren't all Botox jokes good?
They call it Mar-a-Lago face. Because all the women down in Mar-a-Lago just have that.
I'm laughing. No, really great.
Have that face where you drink your water and it sort of dribbles out of the side of your mouth because your lips don't move. I don't get it.
I'm watching. So Tulsa King, Dana Delaney. I'm just throwing it out there. It's almost unrecognizable. It's
I
like
know.
you have to write it into the script. Because if I was Sylvester Stallone,
I don't
even
get
him,
it.
but I'd be like, what happened to your face?
I don't get it. I don't.
And if I was the doctor, I would not want to claim that word. I'd be like, I'm sorry, but isn't the whole point?
I get quite a bit of grief every time I say this on the radio. But
I know, no man ever said. Yeah, are we doing this? I still disagree with that 100%.
Well, you're agreeing with me while disagreeing with me.
Well, in the way you're saying, because you're like, no man ever said I like her Botox, and I counter with men don't really observe that. All they see is either you look young or old. Like it's that simple. You're not like, let's see what she's done to get to that. All you know is she either looks good or she doesn't. Either she looks old or she looks young.
Well, Dana Delaney looks like Ed Schwartz. Okay. So
I mean, her whole mouth.
It's unrecognizable. And it's not. It looks completely fake.
Thank you. And to me, it takes I don't want to watch it anymore because I cannot take it seriously.
Again, you can at least throw me a bone and say that forgetting the whole old or young, no man out there says, "Boy, Dana Delaney looks great."
Oh, fair enough.
Okay.
I mean, if they, yeah.
Okay.
Or in
no
defense to what you said,
no man has said
Botox,
Courtney Cox looks fantastic.
Right. Like she didn't look good now, but now that she got that Botox, right? Okay, fair enough. Right. But I'd be shocked to see who's I don't want to. Dana Delaney's great, but I cannot get past.
I don't get it.
I'm looking at pictures of her from season 2.
Yeah,
I don't get it.
Side by side.
I don't get
it's
it.
Not
the whole thing. I mean, women are being sold a bill of goods.
Well, and I'm just.
I know.
Also, these doctors.
Or men are being sold a bill of goods or whatever.
Or we all are.
All right, 6:08 here, Big 550 KTRS. Yesterday on the show, Stephen Portnoy, we were talking about the SNAP benefits and the government shutdown and everything. And Steve Portnoy said that he mentioned something about Josh Hawley and then said that he did not see. I asked him about, interesting that Josh Hawley is interested in the SNAP stuff because a lot of his constituents are recipients of food stamps and SNAP benefits and things like that. And Stephen Portnoy said, I haven't seen a breakdown of the recipients of SNAP, but went on to answer the question. I have a breakdown of the recipients in Missouri of SNAP benefits for you.
Oh, really?
Yes, I do.
And was that hard to come by, or was it
Well,
actually?
I don't want to say that.
I mean, is it public?
I don't want to say that I was, a little bit smarter than Stephen Portnoy. He's got, he's got 50 states he's got to worry about. I don't have to worry about, one or two. But especially with your news story at the top of the hour, where Josh Hawley has this op-ed piece talking about, and Josh Hawley's all up in this. We have to help our fellow man and all that. So
like a true Christian.
Like a true Christian, right. So the state of Missouri has, according to the latest numbers from the Federal Reserve, okay, this is where you get the numbers, right? You were talking about this, Mike Kehoe saying, hey, look, people, you might have to just rely on food stamps or neighbors and everything else.
Food pantries, too.
Food pantries, yeah. There are 326,000 households in the state of Missouri who have some form of SNAP benefits.
326,000.
Yes, 326,000
in the state of Missouri.
In the state of Missouri. Now, I know Josh Hawley's a senator, so those 326,000 people fall under his purview. However, we know that Josh Hawley gets a lot more of his support in rural Missouri than, say, urban Missouri.
Okay.
And by the way, Missouri has 6.25 million people.
6.2.
Okay, quick, do the math.
So that's
what percentage?
I don't know what percentage that is.
Well, let's round down to 6 million to what'd you say, 350,000?
Yeah, say 350. Yeah. What is it? What is that?
Do that math.
Do that, do that math on the side. Doing math live on the radio is not my strong suit. Okay. So, of the 326,000 people in the state of Missouri who are on some type of benefit, 62,000 of them live in the city of St. Louis. 62,000, which is a lot, I think. That's about 20% of the city's population. Oh. That's about 1 in 5 people in the city. But it's 62,000 people in the city, but it's 275,000 people in rural Missouri or everywhere other than the city of St. Louis. So it's a lot of people think, oh, it's just an inner city issue. It's not an inner city issue. It is a statewide issue, and that's why Josh Hawley has an op-ed piece in the New York Times today, because many of his rural constituents who voted for Josh Hawley, who don't like bloated government, who are all in favor of smaller government and less sort of social welfare programs.
But yet being on a social welfare program?
Well, that's for them to answer, not for me. The point is that a large 275,000 people approximately in rural Missouri, or should I say, I don't want to call it St. Louis County, rural Missouri, or St. Charles County, rural Missouri, but 275,000 people outside of the city of St. Louis in the state are going to be affected by this in some way, shape, or form. And the other sad story is that it's not just the people who are not going to be able to get their food vouchers or food stamps or anything like that. They're bracing for crimes of desperation. Mm. So you're not going to wait online at a food pantry. You're going to go in and try and steal a loaf of bread. You're going to go in there and be Jean Valjean and go steal a candy bar or a ham sandwich or a gallon of milk or whatever. And so there's a number of economists and criminologists and everybody else who are saying brace for an influx and a rise in shoplifting because of all this. So it's not just going to affect those who don't get the benefits. It's going to affect all of us, whether shoplifting raises the prices for all of us. Then, of course, people who get caught shoplifting then have to go to jail and go through the process, which bogs down all of that. So it's an issue that is going to affect all of us, even if we've got food in the pantry and not a worry in the world. So it's going to be somewhat of an interesting couple of days if they can't figure out how to open up the government. Not to mention, come Monday or Friday or whatever, those who are on the Affordable Care Act, again, a large number of people who are on the Affordable Care Act, premiums are going to skyrocket because the subsidies are over with.
Well, then a lot of us, too, then are just not going to have health insurance, which will also drive up everyone else's premiums, correct? Because then a bunch of people are just going to go without.
That's all. It's all sort of interconnected.
This is fun.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
5.2% of Missourians are on some sort of assistance.
5%. Okay. All right. That's good to know. All right. Thanks. I failed to mention the numbers for Kansas City, Springfield, and Columbia. Go talk to their morning guy about Kansas City and Springfield and Columbia.
Call Pete Monday.
I'm in charge of St. Louis, all right? I don't have the numbers for we only have so much staff here at the Big 550 KTRS. But I would argue that Springfield and Columbia are, quote unquote, I don't know how big those are. So no, I can't parse out the major metropolitan areas like Kansas City and Columbia and Kansas City. Joplin, right. Knob Noster, the major metropolitan area.
St. John.
However, Pilot Knob.
It is the point I was making is that the SNAP benefits just don't reside in the urban core. They're throughout the state of Missouri. 6:15 here, Big 550 KTRS. Captain Paul Kopsky's taking a couple days off. We are not doing our $100 donation today.
I think
However,
that would cost you too much by the end of the week.
it would cost me too much. Yeah, you're here
he's
for
here
the
till
duration,
Friday.
right? You're here till Friday.
Yeah.
Connor McCarthy's in the St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center.
All right, McGraw, we have an accident to report in the right lane of 270 at the 64 merge. There's already ongoing construction that will be going on throughout the rest of the day today as well. Not causing too much of a slowdown here in the early morning, but it is something to watch as we get in. There will be rain throughout the rest of the morning, causing some traffic and slowdowns. That's the latest from the St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center. I'm Connor McCarthy on the Big 550 KTRS.
From the Woods Basement Systems Weather Desk, local experts for basement waterproofing, foundation repair, crawl space repair, and more. WoodsBasementSystems.com.
I'm First Alert 4 Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton. A soaking rain is on the way, so we've got a rain all night and a real nasty Wednesday morning commute. Low of 48, windy and wet, ponding on the roads. It's going to be a slow go on this wet morning commute Wednesday. Showers continue into the afternoon, but tapering off in the afternoon. So by evening, it will be dry. 53 for the afternoon high Wednesday. And then Thursday, sunshine, a low of 42, a high of 58 for a cool but dry day. That's the latest from the First Alert 4 Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton for the Big 550 KTRS.
Hey, with all this rain, hopefully the roof is holding up. But if you got any issues, let me tell you about a brand new sponsor to the show, Dalco. Now, Dalco's been around a long time. They've been in St. Louis a long time and a great reputation, and they've been a proud sponsor of the station for a long time. Now, Dalco is sponsoring this show, and we are thrilled to have them. At Dalco, they've been in the St. Louis community for over 50 years, and a roof from Dalco allows you to express your style. As a preferred installer, Dalco will make sure that your roof is installed to the highest standards. It's one of your most significant investments in the home, and the roof plays a critical role in protecting it. Now, a Dalco roof system isn't just shingles. It's a complete roofing system that offers components and layers designed to comprehensively protect your home. Not just roofs, gutters as well as siding. And let's remember, they'll work with your insurance company to help you every single step of the way. At Dalco, they are your go-to. And as I've said time and time again, if you're going to use a roofer, make sure it's local. Dalco has been living and working in the community here for 50 years, staying right here in the St. Louis metropolitan area. So for a free in-home estimate, go online to DalcoHomeRemodeling.com for roofing, gutters, siding. DalcoHomeRemodeling.com.
Do you have the option to control your cash flow and wealth? Are you getting a return on your greatest asset, your lifetime and potential generational income? Overcome these critical financial planning challenges by discovering the control option mindset featuring the lifetime and generational income maximizer. Call Mark Benson and his team at the Control Option at 314-432-9540 or online at thecontroloptionmindset.com.
Mike Lippert here with Lee C. Lumber Company. We're a family-owned company that's been providing quality wood products to builders, contractors, and homeowners in the St. Louis metro area since 1872. You've heard McGraw mention our knowledgeable staff, excellent customer service, and the best of woods. In addition to our lumber yards, we offer custom millwork for your outdoor project. We can produce your artistic cedar and fir timber trusses. For the best of woods and custom millwork, LeeCLumber.com.
Live from Studio 550, this is The McGraw Show on KTRS.
Oh, baby, a little quiet ride for you to get you up and going this morning on a rainy, wet Wednesday morning. 6:20 here, Big 550, KTRS St. Louis. Jim Ryan joins us. Jim, this one is an odd story. After years and years of officials saying that America is getting bigger, all of a sudden a major reversal. We're getting skinnier?
Well, at least according to one metric here, the Gallup National Health and Well-Being Index is what we're looking at here, McGraw. And it has found that after peaking at a record high of 39.9% of Americans in 2022, the U.S. adult obesity rate has declined to 37% this year. So 37% of Americans, under this survey at least, are still obese.
Well, but at least it's going in the right direction after going up all this time. What do they attribute these numbers dropping to?
Well, they see a clear connection between the use of GLP-1s, the Ozempics, the Wegovy's, those drugs, that class of drugs, initially designed to combat diabetes, type 2 diabetes, and yet it also found this off-label use of cutting people's weight, reducing people's weight. And we are finding, at least Gallup is, that the use of those drugs is a big contributor to the decline in American obesity.
Interesting. Men, women, young, old, what are they finding?
50 to 64, that age group has seen the best effect, has seen the greatest decline in obesity. More women than men are seeing a decline, and those numbers are parallel to what we're seeing in the use of Wegovy and Ozempic. I mean, if you look at the statistics here, among men, 4.7% of men are using these drugs, or were in 2022. That number's gone up to 9.7% this year. For women, the number has soared from 6.9% way up to 15% of people who are using these drugs.
Yeah, not surprising. The drugs, right? That's what everyone's been saying. They've been working. We've seen it anecdotally. Now some numbers are starting to come in that these drugs are actually working and people are losing weight on these drugs.
Yeah, little caveat, though. This Gallup National Health and Wellbeing Survey is based on self-reporting. So it throws out this survey saying, hey, what's your BMI? And you're supposed to go online and put your height and your weight into a BMI calculator and then say what the result is. But people may be fudging that number a bit. Gallup tries to take that into consideration, the vanity effect, if you will, to ensure that the numbers are accurate. The other confusing thing to me, McGraw, is this. So GLP-1 drugs were developed initially to combat diabetes. Obesity has gone way down, but diabetes is at record highs. So what's going on here? I think it might take another study to determine why diabetes is going up despite this dramatic rise in the use of GLP-1s.
Jim Ryan, they always pour a little water on a nice, cold, nice story. So thanks for bringing us up and bringing us back down again. Yeah, all right. I'll go back to eating my donut and have a good morning. Jim Ryan, ABC News. Thanks, Jim. Have a good day. 6:23 here, Big 550 KTRS. All right, let's talk what we got coming up on the show today. We had Jim Ryan at 6:20, and then Stephen Portnoy is going to join us at the bottom of the hour. They're going to look into the use of Joe Biden's auto pen, which, as if they got nothing else to worry about. Joe Biden's auto pen, as opposed to President Trump's auto pen. Anyway, Stephen Portnoy's got that story at 6:35, even though the government is still shut down. John Cohn is with the ABC. He's going to take a look at these drug boats that are being blown out of the water in the Caribbean. It is a remarkable shift in American strategy. Americans used to believe or used to go about combating the drug war as a criminal action, right? It was a police action. Now it's a military exercise. And so what are the results? What changes because of that? For every yin, there's a yang. John Cohn's got some things that we're not necessarily thinking about, and what could be down the road for us if we switch from a police operation to a military operation. John Cohn's got that at 7:35. And then what do we got? What was the
what was the
the air traffic controllers are really ringing the alarm and ringing the bell, and the people who are in that space are saying, hey, it ain't getting any better, and it's getting less safe in the airlines. And now we got this 30-day-old strike where we're not paying the people who are showing up to work. So we'll get into that with the ABC News transportation reporter. Randy Carricker is going to talk about that Blue Jays victory last night and the Blues loss last night. Blues, another tough one out at the Enterprise Center.
Hey, they scored first.
They started off strong, but finished with a whimper. And so they've got some issues with the Blues. Maybe it's panic mode. I don't think anybody thought that they would be in this position this early in the season. There was a lot of goodwill and a lot of good thoughts about the Blues this season, but where has it gone wrong? We'll check in with Randy Carricker with all that. Also, Ben Barnett from Timberline Professional Tree Care Has anybody been following this coverage of this Hurricane Melissa?
Yes.
The eye of the storm looks like it's out of a movie. It's a little tiny hole, and there's no break in the clouds. They're calling it the worst storm in the history of the world.
Luckily, it went down to a 3 when it hit land.
Once it hits land, it starts to lose a little power. The warm water is the fuel, but it'll pick back up again as it goes through the Bahamas, I guess. I was just in that part of the world 2 weeks ago. It's just south of where Nassau is and just south of where that Disney island was. We were there 2 weeks ago. Crazy to think of it. But now it looks like it's just going to sort of head back into the Atlantic and sort of do a U-turn back into the Atlantic. But, yeah, some pretty scary stuff there.
And there's a cyclone right now in India on the other side of the world.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No one's talking about that one yet. But they will.
What exactly is a cyclone compared to a
I believe
hurricane? Is it more wind?
East versus west.
Oh, okay.
I am not 100% sure of that, but I think that is the case.
Oh.
Cyclones are in the Pacific and hurricanes are in the
But they involve the
Atlantic.
same type of high winds.
It's a
and
hurricane,
stormy,
in other words.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's not
What about a
they call them.
typhoon?
Yeah, we don't really.
Let's play a game called Name All the Natural Disasters.
A typhoon is what shows up on Gilligan's Island.
All
Okay,
right.
that's what happens.
Which
And
was
then
in
a
the
tsunami.
Pacific.
628 here, Big 550, KTRS. Let's talk the Ronald McDonald House, because what a wonderful organization. The Ronald McDonald House, a lot of people have heard about it. A lot of people don't know what it is. They have 2 homes here in St. Louis, and it is simply a home away from home for families who have to come to St. Louis to get world-class health care. They have families, they have other kids, and so they have to come to St. Louis for a extended stay for one of their children. And yet they still have to have some type of home life. They still have to deal with the other kids. They have to deal with their own emotions. And so where do you go? It could break a family's budget if they had to spend these nights, weeks, days, months at a hotel. Well, the Ronald McDonald House Charities has 2 locations. They serve 92 rooms, 72 bedrooms for families in need. An average family stay is 29 days. Last year, they served 546 families from 15 countries and 22 states. 76% of the families are from Missouri and Illinois. 25% of these families have infants. So think about that. The Ronald McDonald House is open 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, and it costs $125 a night. Every family pays something, but the Ronald McDonald House is in the midst of a campaign. They want to raise $600,000. And how do they do that? Well, every single donor is important. So how do? You go to Ronald McDonald House, STL.com. That's Ronald McDonald House, STL.com. 6:30, St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center. Here is Captain Paul Kopsky.
All right, McGraw, the accident on 270 eastbound at 64th, 64 merge is still blocking the right lane. There is also construction that will be going on throughout the morning into the afternoon there today as regular construction on the merge. There's also regular construction going on 55 southbound leaving the city. That's starting to cause a little bit of a slowdown here as we get into the morning with the rain, causing a mild traffic slowdown, but nothing too serious just yet. This traffic report is sponsored by Lion's Choice. Say howdy to the new Southwest Cheddar Melt, your choice of roast beef, ham, or turkey with melted cheddar cheese, crispy jalapenos, and onions with zesty Southwest sauce. Available now. From the St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Connor McCarthy on the Big 550 KTRS.
Sorry, Connor McCarthy. My problem is I try and read the text line while I'm sending it to traffic, so I apologize, Connor.
You know, it's all right.
All right. Cloudy, rainy all day today, high of 56. Rainfall about 1/4 of an inch. Overnight tonight, we're going to dry out, low of 40. Tomorrow, the sun peeks out of the clouds, high of 59. It looks like we are dry, but cloudy the rest of the week. Right now, it is 54 degrees at 6:30. Let's go back to the newsroom. Here's Rose Dalton.
Hurricane Melissa has made landfall in eastern Cuba early this morning as a Category 3 storm after pummeling Jamaica as one of the strongest Atlantic hurricanes on record, the U.S. National Hurricane Center says. Authorities in Cuba have evacuated more than 700,000 people, and forecasters say the Category 3 storm would unleash catastrophic damage in Santiago de Cuba and nearby areas. Vice President J.D. Vance says that he believes U.S. military members will be paid at the end of the week as the Trump administration reconfigures funding in the second longest government shutdown. The funding fight in Washington gained new urgency this week as millions of Americans face the prospect of losing food assistance, more federal workers missed their first full paycheck, and recurring delays at airports snarl travel plans. In local headlines, in response to thousands of Missourians expected not to receive SNAP benefits on Saturday due to the government shutdown, the City Foundry will hold a food drive today. It will take place during the Live Art Market Fall Encore event from 5:30 p.m. until 8:30 p.m. And the Illinois Department of Transportation will hold a public meeting today to discuss a study for the proposed improvements on Illinois 13 from Illinois 157 to South 23rd Street in St. Clair County. The meeting will be held from 4 p.m. until 7 p.m. at the Welcome Center, Southwest Illinois Justice and Workforce Development Campus in Belleville. 53 degrees. Time now is 6:32. I'm Rose Dalton, KTRS News.
Hey there, it's Julie Buck, and I'm here with Jeff Zufall. He's the Senior Tax Strategist and Wealth Advisor at Capital Advisory Group. He's also the author of the #1 best-selling book on the new tax laws. It's called Keep What's Yours. Jeff, this October, what do we need to know?
Julie, October is officially Financial Planning Month. The One Beautiful Bill Act locked in many of the tax laws set to revert back to the 2017 rules. But there were also changes to the tax code in this law, and we can help. Since 1976, thousands of businesses have relied upon the tax strategies offered by Capital Advisory Group to help them reduce their future tax liability and stop overpaying their federal and state income taxes. If you're not taking full advantage of the tax law and you feel like you're paying more than your fair share, then let us help you plan for 2026 and take advantage of the new tax rules.
Give Capital Advisory Group a call, 636-394-5524. Online at capitaladvisorygrp.com.
Mom, what do you always say?
There's nothing sadder than jewelry that sits in a drawer.
That's why we are proud to offer jewelry repair on site at Newssetter's Fine Jewelry. We know that your jewelry is important to you, and we take that part of our job very seriously. Visit us at Doherty Ferry in Big Bend or learn more at wowdiamonds.com.
I'm Jill Farmer for TB Exteriors, your choice for professional roofing, gutter, siding, and windows in the St. Louis metro area. They'll help you with your roofing insurance claims for residential or commercial roofs. They're CertainTeed Select Shingle Masters and offer the highest level warranties. Right now, mention KTRS and get $500 off a full roof replacement. Call TB Exteriors at 636-362-9503 or visit tbexteriorsmo.com to schedule a free estimate.
Sunset Hills Subaru is a proud local business that has served the St. Louis metro area since 1963. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, their friendly, knowledgeable, and experienced team will get you into the Subaru that was built for you. And when you visit their massive showroom, you can expect the superior customer service that you deserve that's become synonymous with Sunset Hills Subaru. Located on Watson Road in Sunset Hills, they're only a stone's throw from St. Louis, Kirkwood, Arnold, and the Metro East. Browse or shop online at sunsethillsubaru.com.
Explore passion and romance as the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra performs two of the most exhilarating pieces in orchestral music. Violinist Nikolaj Sepp-Snyder showcases his virtuosity as he soars through Tchaikovsky's Violin Concerto, and music director Stefan Deneve leads the SLSO in Rachmaninoff's breathtakingly beautiful Second Symphony. Experience this unforgettable performance November 1st and 2nd. Tickets available at slso.org.
A weekend at home or a weekend RVing? Staring at your neighbor's security lights or counting stars? Watching the Travel Channel or sitting around the campfire with friends? Break away. Get out of town in an RV from Byerly in Eureka.
For the rest of your life, you gotta be there. Byerly RV.
Schrader Funeral Homes and Crematory, St. Louis's oldest family-owned funeral home, offering complete funeral, burial, and cremation services, including an on-site reception center and crematory. 150 years of serving St. Louis families. Visit them at schrader.com.
This is the McGraw Show on KTRS.
Government's shut down. SNAP benefits are about to be lost, and they're worried about an auto pen. Stephen Portnoy, ABC News national correspondent. What in the world is going on, Stephen Portnoy?
Yeah, this is the culmination of months of interviews and reviews of documents and emails, and ultimately the House Oversight Committee put out its report yesterday morning that says that it believes that any document signed by Joe Biden with an auto pen is null and void. Now, that's how the Republican-led House Oversight Committee views it. The Speaker of the House said yesterday essentially the same, that he would be happy to see a challenge to some of the pardons that carry Joe Biden's signature, have those be challenged in court. But ultimately, it becomes a sort of bigger question of how the Biden White House operated, and whether the president directed the use of the auto pen to affix a signature to documents, which he insists he did do. And ultimately, all right, what can be done about that, if anything should be done about it? And that's where Democrats say all this is baseless. And even the testimony provided by senior aides, such as two former chiefs of staff and the former staff secretary and others who are around Joe Biden, that all of it proves the opposite of what Republicans are claiming, which is that, Republicans say that Joe Biden left it to his aides to decide how things would be run and put his signature on things he didn't know anything about. And Democrats say the opposite's true, that Joe Biden was in on these conversations and authorized the use of the auto pen.
What does Joe Biden say?
Well, he says he made those decisions. He put out a statement yesterday saying that all this is baseless and that President Biden made the decisions of his presidency. There really is no way to prove this one way or the other, because in many respects the testimony indicates that Joe Biden gave either verbal authorization or kind of sort of, approved of the decisions that were made in his White House that were then carried out by his aides who did use the auto pen. So, I think that the difficulty for Republicans here is how wide do you want this to go? Because, pieces of legislation have been signed over the last couple of decades with the auto pen. Barack Obama, in exigent circumstances, authorized the use of an auto pen to sign bills. So if you're going to say that nothing that doesn't carry the signature in a president's own hand is invalid, well, that opens the question of, certain laws that have been signed over the last couple of decades. And I don't think Republicans necessarily want to see that happen. I think that they are interested in casting Joe Biden as a man who was not, aware of what was going on in his own White House. The House Speaker said yesterday that he remembered an occasion where he was in the Oval Office and talking about an order that Biden's White House issued that stopped the export of liquefied natural gas. And Johnson said that when he confronted the president about it, Joe Biden seemed to say he didn't know anything about this order. And that, to Mike Johnson, means that Joe Biden had aides who were conducting business in his own name without even being aware of what was going on. And Johnson says that this is proof that decisions that were made inside the Biden White House were occurring without his approval, and therefore. But there really is no way to prove it, because you can't prove that Joe Biden wasn't, giving the thumbs up or authorizing or ordering verbally, because there's evidence that he was doing that. And, ultimately the question becomes, all right, well, how should a president operate? And who says, other than when it comes to signing a bill, that a pardon has to carry a president's signature? That's certainly the way it's been done. But, the Constitution doesn't say that the pardon and commutation power has to be effected with something in the president's own signature, right? And so, again, this is a lot of politics. There's a lot of politics in this, and there's a lot of, haymaking.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure it necessarily is going to result in any changes.
Does President Trump use the auto pen?
He has used the auto pen. He's described it himself, that sometimes when he's, having letters sent out, particularly to young people, who I guess, he essentially would suggest, and this is my paraphrasing, that these are things that are not all that important. He would, yes, of course, things will go out from the White House. It has Donald J. Trump's signature on it, but did he really sign it in his own hand? Probably not. One of the interesting things is the committee uncovered that early in Biden's term, there was a conversation internally and even a sort of a memo that was a draft memo that got into things where these are the things that we're going to use the auto pen for, and these are the things the president should sign in his own hand. And those things would include legislation, executive orders, pardons, etc. But the suggestion was that beyond that initial conversation or recommendation that the auto pen was used, that the chief of staff authorized its use in certain circumstances. What we don't know is whether, and what Republicans can't prove, is whether the chief of staff made decisions without the president's awareness, right? That's the suggestion, that somehow there was this committee or cabal of senior officials in the Biden White House who were making law, or I should say, signing law or signing pardons or signing executive orders on the president's behalf without his knowledge. That's a pretty bold suggestion. It'd be very difficult to prove.
Yeah. It makes me sad that maybe the Christmas card I got from President George W. Bush wasn't really signed by President George W. Bush.
I'm sorry to say it's very likely that it wasn't McGraw. I'm sorry.
Stephen Portnoy, ABC News. Have a good day. Thanks.
You bet.
All right. 641 here, Big 550, KTRS. All right, let's talk about something real, okay? Forget this fake stuff. Frozen custard. That's the real stats. That's the real stuff. Frozen custard at Ted Drew's. Get the McGraw concrete. Nothing fake about that. They're in their fourth generation. They've been in business since 1929. Ted Drew's on Chippewa, now open at 11 a.m. What? Swing. That's right. Open at 11 a.m. Swing by after lunch. Maybe you've got a business meeting that just happens to take place on Chippewa and Jameson over there. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Chippewa is now open. Ted Drew's is a St. Louis tradition. Your grandparents went there. You're going to take your grandkids there. You can get everything under the sun, from the McGraw concrete to the Brennan concrete. Why would you put coffee in your concrete mix? I don't know, Charlie. We need to talk. Otherwise, the McGraw concrete, half Oreo, half Heath, is the way to go. Look, it doesn't matter what you order, just as long as you make up your own concoction, whatever it is. It's a St. Louis tradition, and that's where life has happened, right there on that parking lot there in Chippewa. Hey, they're going to get ready to start selling some Christmas trees and wreaths and everything else. But until then, how about a little frozen custard? Or you know what I cheat on myself with? I like a little hot fudge custard. Put a little hot fudge in there, maybe a little butterscotch in there. Yeah, that's some good stuff. Ted Drew's. It's a St. Louis tradition. Chippewa is now open at 11 a.m. We'll see you there. Ted Drew's.
John, what are you doing? Get in my car. So why are you walking to work?
Thanks, man. It's these insanely high gas prices. They're draining my bank account. I can't afford to drive anymore.
Dude, don't walk. Just do what I do, because I never pay full price for gas anymore. I use the free Upside app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Oh, wait. You're telling me you get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back every time I buy gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code PROFIT for an extra 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's promo code PROFIT. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, to PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code PROFIT for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code PROFIT.
Hey, Ed Brock, everybody. If you love Halloween like I do yourself a favor and visit Johnny Brock's Dungeon. Why shop those tiny pop-up shops when you can shop 30,000 square feet of locally owned Halloween fun? We're open all year at I-44 in Jefferson, on the edge of Soulard. Johnny Brock's Dungeon, a St. Louis must-see.
Your biggest choice in home restoration is, who do you trust with your home, your most valued asset? Few can match Banner Construction's experience and dedication to excellence. Banner is an elite preferred James Hardie contractor and Pella Windows specialist. Restoration is a one-time opportunity to have Banner's design team show you architectural options to make your home the neighborhood showcase. Call for a free consultation, 314-569-1050. And have a banner day.
It's Julie Buck here to tell you that the patio is open at Bishop's Post right next to Chesterfield Mall. Get your reservations in now and go to Bishop's Post. You will love it. Tell them Julie Buck sent you. bishopspost.com.
Connor McCarthy is in the St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center. Good morning, Connor.
Morning, McGraw. Crews have cleared a crash on I-170 southbound at Airport Road, as well as a crash that occurred on 70 eastbound before Grand. Those weren't causing too much of a traffic slowdown, but those crews have cleared the crashes off the road. We are getting some traffic here on 55 southbound, leaving the city past Bayless. That's due to regular road construction that will be going on throughout the rest of the day today. This traffic report is brought to you by Fielder Electric. See what everyone is saying about the pros at Fielder Electric. Whether it's a new build or a 100-year-old home, Fielder Electric has you covered. From the St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Connor McCarthy on the Big 550 KTRS.
From the Woods Basement Systems Weather Desk, local experts for basement waterproofing, foundation repair, crawl space repair, and more. WoodsBasementSystems.com.
I'm First Alert 4 Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton. A soaking rain is on the way, so we've got a rain all night and a real nasty Wednesday morning commute. Low of 48, windy and wet, ponding on the roads. It's going to be a slow go on this wet morning commute Wednesday. Showers continue into the afternoon, but tapering off in the afternoon. So by evening, it will be dry. 53 for the afternoon high Wednesday. And then Thursday, sunshine, a low of 42, a high of 58 for a cool but dry day. That's the latest from the First Alert 4 Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton for the Big 550 KTRS.
All right, there is a brewing controversy in last night's World Series. We'll get to that in just a second. But first, we are in open enrollment, and if you are on Medicare, now is the time, between now and December 7th, is the time you have to make sure you have the right Medicare plan. It's a very simple procedure. Just call Ryan Raphael. He's got the headset on morning, noon, and night. Leave a message if he doesn't answer the phone, and he'll call you back. Then you can do a quick run-through to make sure you've got the right plan, right? I don't know, it takes 10 minutes. Wouldn't you invest 10 minutes to make sure you've got the right plan? You hear other people have this. My doctor left to go to that plan. Now they're no longer doing this, but my neighbor can do that, right? You hear all these things about different Medicare plans. You want to make sure you have the right one. We're in open enrollment. Call Ryan Raphael, 314-368-6808, 314-368-6808. Yes, nanny approved. The nanny every year goes out and meets with him. She likes to go out. You don't have to meet with him. You can do it over the phone. She likes to go meet with him and check in and make sure she's got the right plan. It takes about 10 minutes. It's part of her routine. And that's why he takes care of the nanny, and I take care of Ryan Raphael. That's the connection. You take care of the nanny, you do whatever you want around me. 314-368-6808. Ryan Raphael. Go check out your own plan. MedicareManSTL.com.
Worldwide Technology Raceway is the only track in America to host a NASCAR event, an IndyCar event, and an NHRA event.
Don't miss the NHRA Lucas Oil Drag Racing Series and Friday night's Midnight Madness with Fall Festival and Halloween themes, including a track or treat event. Be sure to wear your best costume.
The track, under the leadership of owner Curtis Francois, continues to upgrade the race experience for fans who come from around the country. For tickets, go to WWTRaceway.com.
You're selling your home, and I want to buy it. This is Mike Robinson with Robank Properties, and I am ready to pay top dollar for your home. No contingencies, no inspections, no monkey business. I buy your home no matter the condition or location, and you walk away with cash. Call me, Mike Robinson, at 314-283-0867, 314-283-0867, or at robankproperties.com. That's ROBANG properties.com.
I'm Mark Miller, owner of Miller Furniture and Mattress, your home for quality American-made furniture since 1927. We offer the largest selection of Amish-made furniture in the St. Louis area, plus quality living room furniture from Flex Steel and Smith Brothers. We carry top-quality mattresses from world-famous brands like Tempur-Pedic, Stearns & Foster, and Chatham & Wells. Shop our Belleville, Fairview Heights, Lake St. Louis, and Ellisville showrooms. At Miller Furniture, we put the family in furniture.
You are a successful electrical contractor, but you plus a dedicated team supporting your project from day one? That's taking your productivity to the next level. And Graybar can help you get there. Your relationships plus our relationships. Your capabilities plus our job site services. Your challenges plus our technical specialists. You alone can get the job done. But you plus Graybar, that's smart business. Yep, Graybar does that.
If you're looking for your next home, think of First Community. Our Smart Choice Home Loan offers a 30-year fixed rate of just 6.531% APR to qualified borrowers, and you only need a down payment of 10%. Whether it's your first home, your forever home, or even a vacation home, be smart with a Smart Choice loan from First Community for all your savings and all your loans. Must qualify for membership. For terms and conditions, call toll-free 1-888-642-7969. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing lender.
The leaves and temperatures are changing. Can your furnace keep up? With Viviano Heating and Air, you don't have to guess. Our certified technicians provide expert HVAC maintenance, repairs, and energy-efficient upgrades tailored specifically to your home. So whether you're looking for a full system replacement or a tune-up to get you through the cooler months, call Viviano today. Check out the website, vivianoair.com. Trane, the most reliable name in heating and cooling around. It's hard to stop a Trane.
Concerned about where your retirement is heading? Is it on track to meet your needs and goals? Are taxes and inflation a constant worry? Well, you can join Jerry Means for What Retirement Means to You, powered by Means Financial Group, and find out how their team can help guide you to that retirement you've always dreamed of. Listen to What Retirement Means to You with Jerry Means, Sunday mornings at 10 on KTRS, The Talk of St. Louis. More details at meansfinancialgroup.com.
McGraw, live in the morning on KTRS.
All right, 6:52 here, Big 550, KTRS. You guys are the musical experts in the room. Have you ever heard of an artist named Tinashe? Tinashe.
Yes.
So you have heard of this woman?
Yes. R&B.
Okay.
R&B singer.
How big would you say Tinashe is?
With
the kids?
Or like who? Just in general, people.
Just in general. Give me her. What's her status?
I wouldn't say that. But, I mean, it's within like the R&B group. They'll be familiar, but it's not. I think if you're not into R&B, you don't know who she is.
Yeah.
If you don't listen to R&B on a regular basis.
Yeah. But I mean, how big is she in R&B? I mean, is she like
She's
the biggest
a
R&B in the world?
artist.
Yeah, she collaborates with a lot. So
she's sold a lot of records.
Yeah.
Or streams or whatever.
So she sang the national anthem last night at the Dodger game.
Oh, how'd she do?
I didn't really listen because I was trying to figure out who she was, so I went to my phone to try and figure out who she was. She, I don't know. It's her debut album Aquarius featured the lead single "Two On" with Schoolboy Q, which reached number 24 on the Billboard Hot 100 in 2014.
Okay.
She's also an actress.
What has she been in?
2.5 Men. She was one of Charlie's girlfriends.
Oh, that, again, 12 years ago.
So you're just saying she's not relevant? You're like, why would they have somebody who's not relevant?
I'm just a little perplexed as to...
How do they go about picking?
This is the World Series.
Well, why do they have Brad Paisley do it?
Well, everybody knows who Brad Paisley is.
Not true.
No, come on. Brad Paisley is a very well-known country music guy.
Who's in commercials.
Okay, fine. But he's had a number of number one hits. They might be years old. This woman had a hit that reached number 24.
You know, it's a hard argument to make, though, because you also think it's the same thing with, like, to me, like the Super Bowl and all that kind of stuff. Like, how do they choose and who they relevant to? So the audience of the World Series.
I have no idea who Bad Bunny is, but Bad Bunny is a big...
Right.
You've heard of Bad Bunny.
I've only heard of Bad Bunny because of the controversy.
Yeah.
But he's a big star.
She does have a song that I actually played at the hockey game last night.
Well, who's been singing the other one? I mean, how many games are there? I mean, it's kind of like how many people do you and how?
Yeah, you're in L.A. You can't find a star in L.A. to come sing the national anthem.
Well, I guess obviously not. I mean,
well,
if they
that's what
went
I'm
with,
saying.
But I'm saying how many other people are complaining about it? Are you the only one?
No, I'm starting this controversy.
Yeah, so you might be on your own island here, McGraw.
So she has a song out right now called "No Broke Boys," which is huge on TikTok. And I've been playing it for the 50-50 at the hockey games. So it is. She does have a big song out right now.
Interesting. I'm still starting the controversy.
Well, how do they choose? Like, I'm curious. I would love to be in that room going. And here's the other thing: did They don't. Is there any monies exchanged in these kinds of situations?
I'm sure there might be a nominal little something. It's more
you
of
think it also exposure,
well,
right?
The Super Bowl, they don't get paid.
No, the Super Bowl, they don't get paid.
They pay you. Don't the artists pay?
No.
They take care of production costs, and that's about it.
Yeah.
So they pay.
But that's not why they're doing it. They're doing it for the prestige and the honor and everything
it's
else.
interesting thinking you would assume that the NFL pays them. They don't. Not only do they not, they pay the artists.
The artists
provide
do
their
not,
own. Well, they pay for certain, Okay, they don't? Okay, maybe I'm completely wrong.
The
so the artists
don't
pay absolutely nothing.
It's not a pay to play.
It's Apple subsidizes it to make the production costs. It's a zero-sum game.
But who pays is not. Okay, we're off. We're way off the. We're way off the reservation.
You didn't know who this girl is.
I didn't know who this woman was, and I was thinking that maybe in L.A. there would be a more universally loved star who could sing the national anthem that would be known throughout the entire community, young and old, men, women, especially in L.A. Tanashi doesn't really roll off the tongue when it comes to somebody I would think would open up a World Series game. That's all. I'd never heard of this woman, and you guys have, so that was all. I was just sort of curious about that.
No broke boys, no new friends. You actually might have heard that already.
I'm pretty sure I haven't heard that version of it. 6:57 here at Big 550 KTRS. St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center. Here is Captain Paul Kopsky, who's out. Connor McCarthy is in. Connor, take it away.
All right, McGraw, no new accidents to report here, but we are starting to get some serious traffic slowdown on 55 southbound right at Bayless. Traffic slowed almost to a stop. That's due to regular road construction, plus the rain slowing things down there. And 270 northbound between 55 and 64 is also starting to slow down. No accidents causing that, just probably the rain and regular construction as the 64-270 merge. This traffic report is brought to you by Dent Express. Drive time can be hectic with traffic, weather, and fender benders. Dent Express can help with the hassle-free dent removal, minor collision repair, and hail damage repair. Free evaluations, and they take care of the insurance paperwork. They've got 2 locations on Manchester Road in Baldwin and in St. Charles. DentExpressSTL.com. From the St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Connor McCarthy on the Big 550 KTRS.
All right, let's do weather here for the next couple of days. We got some rain in the forecast today. When it's all said and done, about 1/4 of an inch. It's rained overnight. More rain will fall this afternoon. When it's all said and done, about another 1/4 of an inch. Overnight tonight, low of 40. The rain moves out, but the clouds stick around, and then tomorrow the sun peeks out at some point. Tomorrow, high of 59 on Thursday, 60s on Friday, and mid-50s all weekend long. Looks like no rain through the weekend after we get through today. 42 degrees at the Big 550 KTRS. Rose brought up a pretty good memory. Who was the singer who went to rehab after National Anthem? Who was that woman?
And the internet says
Ingrid Andress went to rehab after her performance of the National Anthem for the 2024 Home Run Derby.
Oh.
Yeah, I thought it was the All-Star game. It was Home Run Derby, yeah. She announced she was checking into a facility for help, stating she was drunk during the widely criticized performance and needed to address her alcohol issues. Ingrid Andress, never to be heard from again.
I don't know who that is.
Hopefully she...
Is she still in rehab?
I don't know. Hopefully she got her life straightened out. But again, country singer. I'd never heard of her before or since. The only thing she's known for is having an issue with the national anthem.
And, yesterday was Brad Paisley's birthday, and he was the only person to sing at both 18-inning games.
Oh.
He sang at the first 18-inning game.
Now, that's a great trivia question. That is a great trivia. By the way, I love me some O Canada. I love when they sing O Canada.
Great song.
It is a great song. 7 o'clock, KTRS St. Louis.
Mizzou football.
The rushing touchdown, and Missouri extends the lead.
KTRS AM, FM 106.1, K291CW St. Louis.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. Hurricane Melissa is now over Cuba as a Category 2 storm with maximum sustained winds of 105 miles an hour. A day earlier, the storm raked a path of destruction across Jamaica. The ABC's Ike Ajachi is in Kingston with the latest.
Hurricane Melissa making landfall in Cuba. After lashing into Jamaica, the Prime Minister declaring the entire island a disaster area. One of the most powerful on record to make landfall in the entire Atlantic basin. Winds up to 185 miles per hour, destroying homes and schools. Urgent search and rescue operations underway after the monster storm unleashing torrents of floodwaters and life-threatening surge.
President Trump says the U.S. is watching and will provide assistance. He is in South Korea now, the government gifting him with a gold coin and a crown. Tomorrow, meetings with China's Xi Jinping begin. The president saying,
"We're all looking forward to that. I think it's going to work out very, very well for everybody, and I look forward to seeing him."
That was at a dinner with business and governmental leaders at the start of the Asian Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit. ABC's Rachel Scott's traveling with the president.
As the president touted his tariff policy in Asia, he made headlines for refusing to rule out a third term. But back in Washington, even some of his closest allies, like House Speaker Mike Johnson, making it clear that's not possible under the U.S. Constitution.
It's been a great run. But I think the president knows, and he and I have talked about the constrictions of the Constitution.
Johnson saying he spoke with the president about it. And hours later, President Trump on board Air Force One, conceding he's not allowed to run.
In a rare bipartisan rebuke, the Senate has voted to rescind the Trump tariffs on Brazil. 5 Republicans crossed the aisle to approve the bill with the Democrats. It would eliminate the national emergencies that President Trump has declared are needed to justify the tariffs. Government shutdown now on day 29. You're listening to ABC News.
It's Jill Farmer, and I'm here with Jeff Zufall, Senior Tax Strategist and Wealth Advisor at Capital Advisory Group and author of the #1 best-selling book on new tax law, Keep What's Yours. Jeff, what do we need to know in October?
Jill, October is officially Financial Planning Month. The One Beautiful Bill Act locked in many of the tax laws set to revert back to the 2017 rules. But there were also changes to the tax code in this law, and we can help. Since 1976, thousands of businesses have relied upon the tax strategies offered by Capital Advisory Group to help them reduce their future tax liability and stop overpaying their federal and state income taxes. If you're not taking full advantage of the tax law and you feel like you're paying more than your fair share, then let us help you plan for 2026 and take advantage of the new tax rule.
Give Capital Advisory Group a call, 636-394-5524. Online at capitaladvisorygrp.com. That's 636-394-5524 and online at capitaladvisorygrp.com.
Galmish & Sons have been providing quality heating and cooling services since 1950. They work exclusively with Lennox, the preferred choice of St. Louis homeowners. Call Galmish & Sons for your next Lennox HVAC installation and service. 314-993-1110.
53 degrees at 7:03. Here's what's happening now. The Ferguson Police Department is expected to announce indictments against 3 people in connection with a murder investigation involving witness tampering and child sexual abuse. The investigation centers around the murder of Corey Warren, who was shot and killed back in July on Bayview Drive in Ferguson. Investigators say Warren was allegedly murdered after refusing a $12,000 bribe to drop charges against Lavore Harmon, who was charged in June after being accused of sexually assaulting Warren's minor relative. Prosecutors say that Harmon's sister, Lavonda Harmon, arrived at Warren's home with another man and the $12,000 bribe. When Warren refused the cash, police say he was killed. More details will be released during an 11 o'clock news conference. The man accused of killing a St. Louis police officer in a drunk driving crash last year has pleaded guilty. Ramon Chavez Rodriguez changed his plea yesterday in a St. Louis courtroom. He admitted to killing Officer David Lee, who was fatally struck while directing traffic on I-70 after a crash. Chavez Rodriguez will be sentenced at a later date. Since his plea was not part of a deal, prosecutors say they will seek the maximum of 15 years in prison. The Boeing strike in the St. Louis area continues. Yesterday, Boeing rejected a counteroffer made by union members just days after presenting its latest labor contract proposal. Union leaders released the following statement in response to Boeing's rejection of its proposal. Quote, "The company rejected our counteroffer and said they'll only accept a deal within their parameters. Our members have rejected 4 offers within the company's parameters. We've bargained in good faith and we're the last to move. The company owes us a counter, not more delays," end quote. Pedal the Cause is urging the public to take part in its current fundraising campaign supporting cancer research before this week's deadline. More from KTRS's Steve Potter.
Pedal the Cause is noted as one of the top cycling fundraisers in North America, with thousands participating each year in St. Louis, and since 2010 has raised $51 million to fund 255 cancer research projects at Siteman Cancer Center and Siteman Kids at St. Louis Children's Hospital. Organizers are asking St. Louis area residents to help reach its 2025 fundraising goal before the Pedal to the Finish campaign wraps up on Friday of this week. More information can be found at pedalthecause.org, and they report that 100% of every dollar raised stays in St. Louis. The date for next year's Pedal the Cause ride has been set for September 19th and 20th, with registration beginning next spring. Steve Potter, KTRS News.
Harris-Stowe State University is planning to construct a new building for its science, technology, engineering, and math programs. The 4-story building will be located on Laclede Avenue on the university's main campus. It will include 12 research labs, a 600-person event space with a rooftop terrace, dedicated labs for biology, chemistry, and physics, and at least 6 classrooms. The project is expected to be completed by July of 2027. This KTRS Business Minute is brought to you by Walter Knoll Florist, the place for all your floral needs. You can place your order anytime at WKF.com. 53 degrees. Time now is 7:06. I'm Rose Dalton, KTRS News.
7:06, Big 550, KTRS. John Cohen's going to join us and talk about the U.S. military blowing up these fishing boats, or these small little boats in the Caribbean.
Drug-running boats.
What does that all mean, alleged drug-running boats? John Cohen's got that story at 7:35. And then how safe are the airports now that we're into a month of this government shutdown? Was already had some issues with air traffic controllers. Now we're making them go to work and not paying them. What could possibly go wrong? Randy Carricker going to be on to talk about what's going on with the Blues. Ben Barnett's going to talk about trees and phone calls and text messages in the 9 o'clock hour. The Country Club Car Wash text line is mad at me. When will you interview a union Boeing worker, Mr. McGraw? Come on.
We had somebody that called us the other day that wouldn't go on the air.
I'll interview anybody, anywhere, anytime. They're not talking. I can't interview myself.
We forced a Boeing worker to come in today against his will. That'd be great.
Holy mackerel. Yeah, you know me. You know me not wanting to talk to a Boeing worker. I mean, give me a break. Every day we have an hour of open phone calls. If a Boeing worker wants to come on and tell us their story, they're more than welcome to come on. I've asked all sorts of people. We can't talk. We're not allowed to talk. I can tell you, but I just can't put my name behind it.
You got to ask leadership.
Yeah, so get off my back because I haven't interviewed a Boeing worker. Holy mackerel. Here's another one. Bad Bunny is all hype, poor quality. Here's another one. McGraw is a racist. All right, good. I didn't know that. Here's another one. She did a very fine job last night. Okay, good. All right, listen to this. This is funny. ICE is trying to hire 10,000 more ICE employees for the crackdown on undocumented workers. They already have a force of 6,000 people, but they want to add an additional 10,000 agents. However, they're having a hard time. White House border czar Tom Holman even acknowledges that they're having a high fail rate on physical standards. He says, I mean, if you can't run a mile and a half, you probably shouldn't be a federal law enforcement officer. Recruits have to do 15 push-ups, 32 sit-ups, and run 1.5 miles in 14 minutes. And according to an internal email that was reported by The Atlantic, some recruits were described as athletically allergic.
Wow.
That's an interesting term.
Yeah,
Wait,
athletically
15?
allergic.
Only 15 push-ups and 32 sit-ups and 1.5 miles in 14 minutes.
15 push-ups, 32 sit-ups, and 1.5 miles in 14 minutes. Now,
That doesn't seem like a lot of push-ups or sit-ups. It just seemed back
in the day, that's that's not. I mean,
The mile, and I'm full disclosure, like I'm a 10-minute mile. Like I am not a good runner, but I can, you know what I mean?
right,
Like
a 10-minute mile is not very fast, but that leaves you 4 minutes to do 15 push-ups and 32 sit-ups.
no, wait, like you only have to do the mile and a half in 14 minutes and then do 15. You have to
Oh,
do
okay.
right. So I guess my point though is 15 push-ups, like military. I mean, that usually the mile and a half. I mean, that doesn't seem like the mile and a half might be harder even for someone who works out all the time,
Yeah.
like who's not a good runner, but like only 15 push-ups.
Well,
If you can't do 15 push-ups,
If you're you might be athletically allergic. Others are failing the tests on immigration law. Holman says, I'm concerned that every agent is fully trained in immigration law. Fourth Amendment training, he says, referring to the constitutional ban on unreasonable search and seizures. ICE has received 175,000 applications for 10,000 roles.
Oh.
175,000 applications, and they can't find 10,000 people.
So what else besides the physical part? Are you have to go through like the age? Like what? You're a border agent, so are you a law enforcement officer? Like do you have to have police? Like what's the training?
ICE is different than law enforcement. ICE is different. It's different.
So you don't. It's Homeland Security. It's different training.
It's
and,
different.
Okay.
Yes, it's different.
Okay.
They've received 175,000 applications for 10,000 roles. They did not say how many new applicants have been hired. ICE is offering a signing bonus of up to $50,000 to new deportation officer recruits. So they're offering bonuses of $50,000. They got 175,000 people applied, and they can't find 10,000.
Is this going to be like the laws of like the football coaches, where if I do it, get the bonus, and then
No, they
don't want to do it,
no.
and then they have to pay me?
The agency reported that they've spent $10 million on national ad recruitment campaigns and have hosted in-person career fairs across the country. Still can't find 10,000 people. 175. You telling me that 175,000 people applied and they can't find 10,000 people? Of those 175,000?
Peanut allergies went down.
Whoa.
Athletic allergies
There's a lot of
went up.
athletic allergies going around, McGraw.
They're athletically allergic.
That's hilarious. Then why would you want to be don't they know that part of it is like running, right? Don't you chase after people? Why,
I don't
what do you
know.
think you're just a desk job?
But not only that, as a $50,000 bonus, and you still can't find people?
Well, can I just say this? So this on the same vein, like I went to get my oil change yesterday at a respectable place. Everyone was very nice and awesome, but nobody could drive my car.
Oh, because it's stick.
Yes, and I don't mean it's. I'm not complaining. I'm just my point though is, and they were younger, but like the workforce, they were nice but how do you work at a oil change place and not know how to drive a stick shift? Like he didn't know how to turn my car on or reverse it. I don't mind going. I was fine, and I wasn't like I'm making you. I'm not going to judge, but like you. I cannot be the only, I know
Maybe he could be an ice deporter. I don't know.
Go to London.
He could have been athletically allergic.
You don't need to learn you don't need to know how to drive a stick.
My
to
point
become
though is going the workforce. Maybe it's hard. Like the crop of people to choose from these days is not exactly as strong as is it. In certain areas of the workforce.
From the Country Club Car Wash text line, here you go. Not upset with you ever. If you were not on the air, my radio would be off. You are 100%. Nice. Thank you. That's from the 314.
I recognize that number.
I do recognize that number. That's my mother's number. No, I'm kidding. 714 here, Big 550 KTRS. Let's check in with Connor McCarthy in the St. Louis Classic Company Traffic Center.
All right, McGraw, we're getting some serious traffic slowdowns here on 55 southbound at Bayless. That seems to just be due to the regular construction and the weather, but traffic is slowed nearly to a stop right at Bayless 55 southbound. And 270 northbound between 55 and 64 is experiencing traffic slowdowns to varying degrees. Nothing at a full stop, but between those two, they will experience some pretty heavy traffic. This traffic report is brought to you by Fielder Electric. See what everyone is saying about the pros at Fielder Electric. Whether it's a new build or a 100-year-old home, Fielder Electric has you covered. From the St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Connor McCarthy on the Big 550 KTRS.
From the Woods Basement Systems Weather Desk, local experts for basement waterproofing, foundation repair, crawl space repair, and more. WoodsBasementSystems.com.
I'm First Alert 4 Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton. A soaking rain is on the way, so we've got a rain all night and a real nasty Wednesday morning commute. Low of 48, windy and wet, ponding on the roads. It's going to be a slow go on this wet morning commute Wednesday. Showers continue into the afternoon, but tapering off in the afternoon. So by evening, it will be dry. 53 for the afternoon high Wednesday. And then Thursday, sunshine, a low of 42, a high of 58 for a cool but dry day. That's the latest from the First Alert 4 Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton for the Big 550 KTRS.
Hey, let's talk Michael's Baths, because Michael's Baths is a great, great company. And they're helping out in all sorts of ways. They've always got deals for veterans, and they'll help you out with a VA grant that will help you pay for some of your next bathroom project. So if you're a veteran, Michael's Baths will take care of you. It doesn't matter if you're a veteran or you're a civilian. Michael's Baths is good for you. They've been here for 30 years. They'll redo your bath, whether it's just a quick little facelift or a full refresh, a full redo. They'll turn that tub into a shower, that shower into a tub. They'll redo the vanity, the floors, whatever you need, and they'll do it for 30 to 50% less than the competitors. That's a pretty sweet deal. They'll use products like Central and Moen, and if you need more of an incentive to work with Michael's Baths, they'll give you a free shower door, or they'll take $500 off of your bathroom remodel. That's a pretty good deal, too. Michael's Baths is nanny approved. She was singing the praises of Michael's Baths, you bet. 636-775-0800. 636-775-0800 or michaelsbaths.com.
John Beal Roofing has been proudly serving homeowners and businesses in the St. Louis metro area on both sides of the river in Missouri and Illinois for over 3 generations. A dependable roof begins with a team you can count on, and that's exactly what you get with John Beal Roofing. Recognized as one of Roofing Contractor Magazine's top 100 roofing companies, John Beal Roofing offers 24/7 emergency service and industry-leading warranties, including a lifetime workmanship warranty for total peace of mind. From upgrading an aging roof or completing a full replacement, the team at John Beal Roofing delivers solutions that are built to code, built to last, and handled with expert care. John Beal also responds quickly with reliable storm damage services backed by decades of experience and 24/7 emergency support. Get started today for expert service and a free, no-obligation estimate by calling 1-800-NEW-ROOF. That's 1-800-NEW-ROOF.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Before you put your home on the market, before you have to pay money fixing it up to sell it, before you have to pay real estate commissions, call me. I'm Mike Robinson with Robank Properties, and I will buy your home. Any property, any condition, anywhere, and always as is. Call me, Mike Robinson with Robank Properties at 314-283-0867. That's 314-283-0867. You have nothing to lose when you call Robank Properties at 314-283-0867.
Your biggest choice in home restoration is who do you trust with your home, your most valued asset. Few can match Banner Construction's experience and dedication to excellence. Banner is an elite preferred James Hardie contractor and Pella Windows specialist. Restoration is a one-time opportunity to have Banner's design team show you architectural options to make your home the neighborhood showcase. Call for a free consultation, 314-569-1050. And have a Banner Day. With over 30 years of experience in top-quality senior living, McKnight Place Assisted Living knows how to help its residents live fulfilling lives. The professional staff gets to know all residents and their families. McKnight Place Assisted Living has become known for its high-quality amenities, personalized services, and expert care. But its history of making people a priority is what really sets it apart from many other senior communities. That starts with the residents and extends to their loved ones. 314-993-3333 or visit them at mcknightplace.com.
On October 29, renowned vocalist Sissel, who mesmerized audiences worldwide as the ethereal voice of the movie Titanic, joins the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra for an unforgettable evening of artistry, elegance, and emotion. From classical vocals and operatic arias to pop and folk songs, Sissel brings her vast musical range to the Powell Hall stage for an evening of music you'll know and love. Tickets at slso.org.
Hi, it's Frank Cusimano inviting you to join me for the Press Box, brought to you by Control Option, Monday through Thursday at 6 p.m. We're going to interview some of the biggest names in sports and have our opening monologue. That's the Press Box, brought to you by Control Option, Monday through Thursday at 6 p.m. right here on the Big 550 KTRS, the talk of St. Louis.
This is the McGraw Show on KTRS.
They could have gotten Kenny Rogers.
He has died.
Artificial intelligence. Okay.
Oh, like a Tupac kind of thing?
They could have done that. They could have had him in some type of, right?
Tupac?
Him and Dolly.
He had some face
She's
work
still
done,
alive.
too. It's rough.
Except
What a
she's not-
great song.
721 here, Big 550 KTRS. All right, listen to this story. We've talked about artificial intelligence over the last couple of months and weeks, and it's in all the news. Axios has an interesting story this morning about artificial intelligence, especially with the news that Amazon announced earlier in the week that it's cutting 14,000 white-collar jobs. J.P. Morgan announced they're cutting jobs. Walmart, Accenture have said that they plan to slow hiring. All cited artificial intelligence as the reason why. PricewaterhouseCoopers, the accounting and consulting giant, cut staff globally, they said in part because of artificial intelligence. Nestle cut jobs, blaming artificial intelligence or automation. A 2-year-old company in the Wall Street Journal reported this. A 2-year-old company with a 22-year-old CEO founded by 3 college dropouts is valued at $10 billion. The company is called Mercor, and what they do is they are paying doctors and lawyers to train artificial intelligence so machines can perform like doctors and lawyers. This is part of the mad rush to fine-tune artificial intelligence. This all amplifies what we're hearing from CEOs that are saying that almost every company is planning on slow hiring in the short term and operate with much smaller human workforces in the future. They are saying that white-collar, entry-level jobs are going to be wiped out, according to a number of CEOs. They also say in this article with Axios, don't get distracted by record stock prices. The S&P 500, Dow, and NASDAQ all hit highs yesterday. The surging companies are all benefiting from artificial intelligence for a simple reason. They are more productive, greater profits, fewer workers. So the companies are exploding, but they keep firing people to their bottom line. So OpenAI is hiring, listen to this, former investment bankers to help train machines to do better analysis than humans. In the short term, that means fewer jobs. So there you go. Again, I don't quite get it. I don't get it. I still don't see how a machine is going to be better than a human, but everybody says they're convinced this is going to happen. I don't get it, but here we go. They're saying we are reaching some type of layoff tipping point with all these companies that are ramping up on artificial intelligence. We're seeing the bubble in the internet, in the stock market, and they're waiting for these entry-level jobs and these coding jobs and these white-collar jobs to start hitting the unemployment line.
But the numbers were up last Friday.
What was up last Friday?
More jobs were than the employment numbers were up, not the unemployment numbers.
Yeah, I don't know.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I thought the numbers didn't come out because of the.
No, the official numbers from the government didn't come out, but the numbers from the private sector came out.
Yeah.
So AI has to be trained in order, like it. I kind of thought for some reason it was like a calculator or something. Like you just type in what you want and it gives you the answer.
Okay. Yes.
Like I really thought it was that simple.
Okay. Yes, but 2 + 2 = 4. We can get a computer to do that.
Right.
But it's hard to explain because I don't even quite understand it.
Well, it only knows what you tell it to know.
Right. Garbage in, garbage out. So it reads all of the internet and then regurgitates it back to you. So it's either widely inaccurate or semi-inaccurate.
Well, and I mean this in sincerity. Like, what makes it intelligent? Like, why? I figured the whole point was like it's a computer that it just, and I'm clearly naive and not smart on this, is that it knows. Like the idea that we have to program it and do all this is like, what is the point?
So take this for what it's worth. You're a college senior, and you have to write a book report on The Great Gatsby.
Okay.
You go to artificial intelligence, and you say, I need a 5-page book report on The Great Gatsby. It creates it for you in 2 minutes.
Okay.
You send it in.
Okay.
Okay. It read the internet. It read the entire internet, and then compiled a book report on The Great Gatsby. Now, as you can imagine, some of it was probably very accurate. Others of it was widely inaccurate.
Somebody else's book report.
Right. Or somebody else's, right.
Great Gatsby.
Or if they, instead of The Great Gatsby, they took part of The Great Santini and wrote that book in there.
Right. So, or saying how Robert Redford was fantastic.
Right. So they call that AI slop. And so they're hiring lawyers and doctors because, hey, give me a cancer test or please cancer screen me, comes back garbledygook. If you hire a doctor to teach the machine a better way to read the internet, that it will somehow give you more accurate information.
So you can tell AI to maybe only skim this part of the internet, or only go to this source.
Well, that's
kind
what
of thing.
That's what they're insinuating, that you can teach it.
To
you can
only
teach
look
it to
in
be
this
human,
area,
right?
Or smarter.
It's like I just don't
I don't get it.
understand.
I don't get it.
I don't. And then it seems so unreliable. So like these companies are laying people off to do. This is. But like, is it? It just doesn't. It seems like it's pretty full. Like, human error. Like it's just.
Yes.
Like
Well,
it just
that's
does
AI
not.
slop, and so you keep reading how these companies are going all in on AI, but then you also read that AI is handling or turning in garbage.
Right.
So you would, instead of calling customer service, they're saying you're going to call a machine like you do now, but you won't even know it's a machine, and you will then have a conversation with this machine.
Tell us what your symptoms are.
Yeah, it'll know, like, I don't like these pants. I want to return them. They didn't have a zipper. Whoa. It'll
right,
know.
Exactly.
Okay.
But I also think that people are going to reject any company that goes all in on artificial intelligence.
That's what I was thinking, because it doesn't seem reliable.
Yeah,
to me, I question a company that would go through that would fire humans to use that.
People said that about self-checkout too. I'm only going to go to a checker, and now self-checkout. We talked about this last week.
Yeah, no, there will be some people. There will be some people who don't care and will want to go to a company regardless, and will get their doctor's appointment with a machine and a screen, I guess is fine. But I think there's going to be a backlash of people who say, look, I want to talk to a human. I want to talk to a real person. I want to talk to, I don't want to talk to a machine.
Yet they'll go to a self-checkout. at the
But that's
grocery
not.
store.
But that's not
But
the
it
same.
is the same thing.
No, it's not. No,
it's not
self-checkout
because
is...
I'm buying groceries and I see all I'm doing is I'm doing the work myself as
But I'm
opposed to having
saying-
because you're still
It's
having
the, it's the small steps that you're taking.
No, I
You've
understand
already
what you're saying.
accepted it in your life.
I know there are machines in your life. You drive your car to the grocery store and use a self-checkout. But Rose's point is that there isn't an artificial intelligence person taking it from your hand, scanning it, and then saying thank you very much. There's not a Rosie from the Jetsons who's doing it for
it's
you.
essentially a calculator. It's adding up your stuff. So but like I wouldn't go to an AI for advice on, because like you said, who knows where it just seems like it's not.
And for Carl's point, that's why Menino's and places like that do so well, because they don't have checkouts.
Right.
They have a human.
Sure.
That's why Menino's is such a great place, because you have that interaction, and that's why those are so revered. Whether it's a St. Louis Closet Company, Lordo's Diamonds, Menino's. I'm mentioning some of the sponsors, but they're you walk in there
One-on-one.
and it's real human beings as opposed to a machine or a computer or artificial intelligence. I don't get it, but every expert says it's coming, and we're not necessarily regulating it in any way. They keep bad-mouthing it, but they keep making the playing field as easy as possible for these companies to destroy the fabric of America, all under the guise of it's going to be good for America, in which I've yet to read anything that says where it's going to be good for America.
Exactly. Like, point to that part and I'll read it.
Right.
Those numbers I had there, 14,250 jobs added last month, and that was from ADP. The people that pay you.
Yeah. St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center. St. Louis Closet Company. Here is Connor McCarthy.
All right, McGraw, the rain seems to be having quite an effect on the traffic here as we get into the morning. 55 southbound at Bayless, it is almost a complete standstill due to regular road construction as well as the rain. 270 northbound between 55 and 64. It's a long stretch, but there's varying degrees of traffic on all of it. No accident causing that, just seems to be regular traffic. And 64 westbound past Kings Highway is really slowed down right now. That isn't helped by a stalled vehicle in the right lane, although it seems to be mostly caused by the weather. And 64 eastbound past 170 also experiencing quite a bit of a slowdown right now. This traffic report is brought to you by Sound Health Services. Fall allergy season in St. Louis is in full swing, and if you're sneezing, congested, or just can't breathe clearly, relief is closer than you think. Helios Advanced Sinus Centers, part of Sound Health Services, have the experts who can help you breathe easy again. Call 844-78-SINUS today. From the St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Connor McCarthy on the Big 550 KTRS.
All right, from the Country Club Car Wash text line, self-checkout is going away at some Walmarts due to shoplifting. Yeah, that's a big issue. A lot of people are gaming the system, scamming the system, and pretending to hit the beep but not hitting the beep. 7:32 here, Big 550 KTRS. Rain today. And about another quarter of an inch. It's going to dry out overnight tonight. 40. The sun pops up tomorrow with a high of 59. 54 right now at 7:33. Back to the newsroom. Here's Rose Dalton.
Air traffic controllers are missing another paycheck due to the ongoing government shutdown, raising concerns about financial stress affecting their work. A number of isolated flight delays have been reported since the shutdown began as more controllers call out sick. The FAA was already short on staff before the shutdown. A federal judge in San Francisco has indefinitely blocked the Trump administration from firing federal workers during the government shutdown. U.S. District Judge Susan Ilston on Tuesday granted a preliminary injunction that bars the firings while a lawsuit challenging them plays out. In local headlines, Boeing executives say they are moving into the next phase of the company's contingency plan to hire more permanent replacement workers amid the ongoing machinist strike. The company says this will likely result in some striking employees being displaced. State Representative Tricia Burns is seeking another office. The Republican lawmaker announced she would not seek re-election as state representative, but instead would run for St. Charles County Collector of Revenue. 53 degrees. Time now is 7:34. I'm Rose Dalton, KTRS News, the talk of St. Louis.
Hey, it's John Carney. A lot of conversations with the folks over at Allen Roofing, pretty much asking advice, because I know a lot of people got smacked by that storm, and he had some great advice for people to think about. First off, be careful of who you talk to when you're going to get some work done. Make sure there's an agreement, and the scope of work is laid out in that contract. Also, as you can imagine, a lot of contractors are busy. Give them some time, and you know what? Allen Roofing will come put a tarp on your roof at no charge, even if you don't use them when you get the roof repaired. Also, check the Better Business Bureau, see what the reviews are for contractors that you deal with, and also remember, insurance companies allow up to an entire year from the date of loss to file a claim. So you've got time to get those repairs done and that replacement done. Don't rush it. Just a few tips from the people that know roofing and repairs better than anyone. It's Allen Roofing, online at aroofing.net.
McGraw, live in the morning on KTRX.
7:35 here in St. Louis. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth said that 14 more people were killed yesterday, leading the total number to 57 people who have been killed from the U.S. military in the Caribbean with these Venezuelan boats. The move shows a change in our policy from going after these drug dealers from a law enforcement perspective to a military matter. John Cohn joins us to talk all about us, ABC News consultant, former counterterrorism coordinator. Good morning, John. Thanks for joining us.
Nice to be with you, McGraw.
So this is interesting. A lot of people haven't brought this up. We're going from law enforcement to military. Why is that a big deal?
Yeah, so you're absolutely right. I mean, I've worked in narcotics enforcement off and on for over 40 years, and it's not unusual to use military assets, downrange, particularly in the Pacific, Atlantic, and Caribbean, to interdict drug shipments that are being transported overseas. However, in the past, what was typically done is, and this is in large part due to U.S. and international law, is that while military assets and intelligence assets may be used to locate and track these couriers, the actual interdiction takes place under law enforcement authorities, whether it's the Coast Guard boarding the boat or a law enforcement officer. And it's important because for a number of reasons. One, ultimately the objective in these cases is to prosecute these members of these organizations, seize their drugs and their money. And second, there are very strict international laws regarding when lethal military force can be used in an extrajudicial way, meaning without due process against other people. So we don't want foreign countries using their military to shoot at U.S. commercial shipping boats or U.S. entities or boats associated with their neighbors who they may have regional conflicts with. And so the concern is that by our taking this approach that we may be providing tacit approval to these other more lawless nations to engage in similar activity.
Yeah, so these boats aren't from the Venezuelan government. They're just private boats, and our military is going after private boats. That's the line you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and, I don't think a lot of people are going to lose sleep if a boat filled with fentanyl or cocaine or even methamphetamine and with drug traffickers on board gets blown out of the water, quite frankly. The concern will be is if there's a mistake. And if a foreign flagged vessel that's a commercial shipping boat or associated with one of these foreign countries, Venezuela or Colombia, whatever, is damaged and foreign nationals are killed, that will subject the U.S. potentially to sanctions, to action under international law. And, I'm a law enforcement person, and like I said before, I've spent most of my life going after drug trafficking organizations, and there are very aggressive techniques that can be used bringing together our intelligence community, our military resources, and our law enforcement resources, where we can disrupt the operations of these trafficking organizations. We can put their leadership and their personnel, their operatives in jail, and we can seize their money and drugs. So, the question becomes is whether the value of these high-visibility military operations are worth the potential negative implications.
And you know this better than anybody. These drug cartels are very adaptable. And if you're going to shoot one or two of their boats, if they are filled with fentanyl or drugs somewhere in the Caribbean, they can move on a dime and get it in the country some other way. So how effective is this? And how long is the drug cartel going to keep doing this before they change their tactics?
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. With these cartels, they have a lot of money. They are using advanced technologies, and they're sophisticated. They study our techniques, our law enforcement and military techniques, and then they adapt. So if they see that shipments are being interdicted when they are transporting drugs over the waterways, they will use drones, tunnels, land routes, or other transportation routes and capabilities to move their drugs. That's just part of their business. I would anticipate, since this is involving military, law enforcement, and intelligence community planners, that they're taking that into account, and they'll use intelligence collection capabilities to better understand how exactly the cartels are operating. The other thing that concerns me, and this will be a big indicator if the military actions are actually causing pain to these cartels, is in the way that they retaliate. These are very violent organizations. There's a history of them targeting U.S. law enforcement, and in fact, we heard recently from the Department of Homeland Security that bounties have been placed on the heads of U.S. law enforcement personnel. They have in foreign countries in particular, they have targeted communities for violence, hoping to break down the public will for government actions against the traffickers. They spread their money around and corrupt governmental processes. Recently, they've started becoming much more focused on using cyber warfare and cyber attacks to collect information on law enforcement investigations or to advance their objectives. And they're very adept at weaponizing social media and developing and pushing content to either support their activities or to influence public opinion. So it's not just shooting a Hellfire missile from a drone on a Boston whaler carrying drugs that goes into planning these operations. You need to start thinking about the next steps the cartels will take from a transportation perspective, and what are the potential ways that they could retaliate, particularly if these lethal operations are impacting their ability to move their product.
Quick question, John. We could talk a whole hour on this, but the United States government got Pablo Escobar. We captured El Chapo, the two of the biggest drug dealers, drug lords, right, drug kingpins. Did that stem any of the drugs coming into this country?
No, because what happens is there's always somebody waiting in line to take the place of who we take out. So, I've been asked, well, are people going to not want to be couriers? These drug trafficking organizations have a lot of money, and there are always people willing to accept their money, even if it means placing their life at risk. So, even when you take out the leadership of the Medellin cartel or the Cali cartel or the Beltrans cartel, there are other traffickers. Because of the money that's available to them engaging in this activity, there's always somebody ready to take their place.
John Cohn, good stuff, ABC News consultant. Thanks for checking in, as always.
Talk to you soon.
7:43 here, Big 550, KTRS.
Kick off football season like a pro with the world's largest sports book at your fingertips. Circa Sports Illinois. It's sports betting the way it should be. With high app limits, low holds, exceptional customer service, and no bet fees ever. Other books may charge you just to get on the field, but with Circa Sports, every play is yours to call. Start betting like a pro from anywhere, anytime in Illinois. Download your new bookie today at circasports.com.
Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
You know what they say, you never get a second chance to make a first impression, and windows and doors are usually that first impression when it comes to your home. Dalco Home Remodeling custom makes their windows and doors, and better yet, they make them here in Missouri. Dalco Home Remodeling is locally and family owned, celebrating 50 years, so they know a thing or two. The Dalco team is known for quality and customer satisfaction. That's the way it was 50 years ago when when they started, and that's still true today. So if you're looking to change the look of your home without breaking the bank, call Dalco Home Remodeling. They do free in-home estimates. Just call 314-298-7300 and make an appointment. You can also check them out online at dalcohomeremodeling.com. As they've always said, if you buy somewhere else and find out how much you could have saved at Dalco, you'll blow your stack. So call Dalco first, 314-298-7300.
An official message from Medicare.
Medicare plans change from one year to the next. And this year, it's important for you to review your current coverage and compare all your options during Medicare open enrollment. Compare health plans, drug coverage, and costs. See if you can save some money, and don't forget to make sure your drugs are covered. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Visit Medicare.gov or call 1-800-MEDICARE.
Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center. Here once again is Connor McCarthy.
All right, McGraw, a lot of traffic on the roads this morning. 270 northbound between 55 and 64 has only gotten worse since the last report. No accident or incident causing that. Seems to just be the rain and the morning traffic. 55 southbound right at Bayless comes to just about a complete standstill due to the regular road construction and the rain. 64 eastbound is really slow at 2 points in Chesterfield past Airport Road and at 170. And 64 westbound at Hampton also reaching really slow speeds there. This traffic report is brought to you by Fielder Electric. See what everyone is saying about the pros at Fielder Electric. Whether it's a new build or a 100-year-old home, Fielder Electric has you covered. From the St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Connor McCarthy on the Big 550 KTRS.
From the Woods Basement Systems Weather Desk, local experts for basement waterproofing, foundation repair, crawl space repair, and more. woodsbasementsystems.com.
I'm First Alert 4 Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton. A soaking rain is on the way, so we've got a rain all night and a real nasty Wednesday morning commute. Low of 48, windy and wet, ponding on the roads. It's going to be a slow go on this wet morning commute Wednesday. Showers continue into the afternoon, but tapering off in the afternoon. So by evening, it will be dry. 53 for the afternoon high Wednesday. And then Thursday, sunshine, a low of 42, a high of 58 for a cool but dry day. That's the latest from the First Alert 4 Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton for the Big 550 KTRS.
All right, let's talk about Country Club Car Wash because you want to keep it in the St. Louis family. And with all these hedge funds and private equity firms buying up these corners and building some car washes, you think, oh, what do I care? Yeah, it's a car wash. No. That's the wrong way to think about it. These hedge funds, these private equity firms are getting some bad raps out there. And if it doesn't say country club, it ain't Country Club Car Wash. You got to be careful. If it doesn't say country, it's not Country Club Car Wash. Country Club Car Wash is a St. Louis company. They give back to the community. They were at Carney's events. They do all sorts of charities. In fact, Carney's kids, they were there supporting Carney's kids, and they have for years and years and years. They are also a big supporter of local charities as well. They had a little girl in Wentzville who needed to raise some money for a procedure. Guess what they did? They took a Saturday and they turned over all the proceeds that day over to the cause. That's why you support local. My recommendation, go buy a monthly pass at Country Club Car Wash, pay for it once, and then get unlimited car washes all month long. 5 area locations. They're all attached to Mobile on the Run. They're in Chesterfield Valley and in St. Charles, so go see for yourself. Country Club, CCCWSTL.com.
Don't miss Straight Talk on Retirement with Jeff and Aaron Lapidus every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Join this dynamic father-daughter duo every Saturday morning for an entertaining and intimate understanding of the retirement needs you may soon be facing. From decades of financial planning expertise combined with a deep knowledge of healthcare benefits, Aaron and Jeff will give you the Straight Talk on Retirement every Saturday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. right here on the Big 550 KTRS.
This is the sound of captivity. This is the sound of rescue. And this is the sound of freedom. Give Armenia's captive bears a second chance by supporting International Animal Rescue. Call 508-826-1083 or search The Great Bear Rescue to learn more.
Hey, the number 2 crew reporting for duty.
Number 2 crew. Let's get in that yard and clean up that doggy doo.
The number 2 crew will visit your yard once a week in the St. Louis area, and they'll take care of your dog's business. Think of them as your yard's best friend.
We are the number 2 crew. We do poo, you do you.
Customers can sign up through their website and utilize their customer portal for any sort of changes or updates. The number2crew.com or 314-717-8880.
We pick up what your dog left behind.
The number2crew.com.
McGraw Millhaven on KTRS.
Claire McMichael joins us, ABC News transportation reporter in New York. Clara, welcome to Big 550 KTRS here in St. Louis.
Good morning, McGraw. Thanks for having me.
How worried should we be going on an airplane today?
Oh, well, it's a question that a lot of folks are thinking about, especially as we approach Thanksgiving. The air traffic controller union president yesterday, he said that layers of safety are being stripped away each day because those controllers are getting more and more distracted by their financial situations. That's why he's urging the politicians to figure this out and end the shutdown as soon as possible. That being said, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy says when there aren't enough controllers for a certain area, that's when they reduce the number of flights to make sure that the airspace remains safe. That means delays for passengers, but it's all in the name of safety.
So before the shutdown, they had some major problems with staffing, did they not?
Right. We have been reporting this out for years. At this point, there's still 2,000 or 3,000 controllers short of where they would like to be. And we've been seeing some controllers call out sick right now. And that means there have been staffing triggers. That means they're slowing down traffic at air traffic facilities across the country. So Duffy said 24% of delays on Monday, 44% of delays on Sunday were due to those staffing triggers. And he said controllers won't be able to make it when they miss 2 paychecks.
Okay, so explain this to me. They're saying that these air traffic controllers, they get a blue flu, calling in sick en masse. Is that in protest, or are they doing it just because they need a job and they need money, so they're going to go be an Uber for a day?
Right, it's that. So they can't call out in an organized protest. That's actually illegal. But they work such stressful jobs, 6 days a week in some cases, 10-hour shifts. You add in that they're not getting paid, and that's when it gets to a breaking point because they have the expenses all of us do, rent or mortgage, childcare, food. The air traffic controller union president said hundreds of controllers at this point, like you said, have second jobs. Some are driving for Uber or Instacart. Of course, that number will increase the longer the shutdown continues.
What happens? We've had a couple of stories throughout the last couple of weeks where there have been airports where they haven't had any air traffic controllers at all.
Right. So that happened in Burbank a few weeks ago. Nashville Tower a couple of weeks ago as well was very short-staffed. So in that situation, when there are no controllers, they move to ATC 0. And in these cases, it means another facility is in charge of handling those flights. So in the case of Burbank, it was another facility in Southern California. So flights were delayed. We didn't see a lot of flights being canceled because of that, but it's not a great situation. You don't want that to happen. And so far, we have seen those staffing triggers. We have not seen another situation like that where there's nobody in the tower since that happened.
Yeah. So they're saying 44% of the flights this past Sunday were delayed because of not enough air traffic controllers, and 24% of the flights on Monday were delayed because of staffing shortages. It ain't going to get any better, I'm assuming.
Right. And just to be specific, 24% of all delays could be attributed to the staffing triggers, not 24% of all flights, right? But yes, as things continue, as folks aren't getting paid, the delays are going to continue. So we haven't seen those big cancellations yet. We also haven't seen long TSA lines. We've seen delays in some cases. We've seen lines stack up in Atlanta, but as things continue, the more stress these folks are under, these issues will definitely stack up.
Because it's not just the air traffic controllers who aren't getting paid. TSA is also not getting paid either?
Right. So TSA is in the same boat. They're also a lot under the same pressure. They missed a paycheck earlier this week, just like the controllers. As I said, the lines have been pretty normal. A couple days ago, it was five minutes through regular lines, 2 minutes through TSA pre-check. I don't know about you. If I can get through TSA in 5 minutes, that's a good day for me. But at the same time, you're seeing food pantries being set up for some of these folks in airports. Food banks are dropping off boxes of food for them. And these folks are just struggling to survive, just like controllers.
Clara McMichael, ABC News Transportation reporter. Thanks, Clara. Have a good day. Good stuff.
Thanks, you too.
7:55 here, Big 550 KTRS. I'll take 5 minutes any day. I'll take 20 minutes. Though, say what you want about the Trump administration, probably their greatest policy change has been you no longer have to take your shoes off when you go through TSA or your belt. That just in and of itself is worthy of consideration on Trump on Mount Rushmore.
I thought you were going to talk about the getting rid of paper straws. Wasn't he paramount in that too?
Paper straws is another one.
I know, right? Like
if your big political push is for paper straws, that ain't cutting it. No, I get the turtles need to breathe, but paper straws are the worst.
I know
they are the worst.
And the dance.
The dance.
If you can now dance like the president by just punching.
Oh, yeah. He can dance any way he wants. Or these people who are like, how about a metal straw? Who's going to carry around a metal straw all day long?
Well, I would rather do a metal than a paper, though. Remember you drink it and it just starts to crumble, and then you're like,
straw,
this delicious paper shards in my mouth
straw,
are amazing.
You don't even get a good sip out of the paper straw.
I know.
It's the worst. It
and
disintegrates.
If you're a straw biter, then it's,
It disintegrates instantaneously. It's the worst. 7:56, Big 550 KTRS. Let me tell you about Reese Nichols. Is it next Wednesday? I believe it is. Next Wednesday, they're having their grand opening in Chesterfield Valley. You've seen the signs switch over. Reese Nichols has been a real estate company in Missouri for 125 years. And so now their signs are starting to show up here in St. Louis.
Wednesday the 5th.
Wednesday the 5th. And so the afternoon show is going to be broadcasting from their offices next Wednesday. It's a chance for you to meet and greet and say hi and ribbon cutting, maybe even a donut or two along the way. Reese Nichols is proud to support local charities, continues to support local charities for their 125-year existence. Their agents are the same trusted agents you've come to expect in St. Louis here for all these many years. They have title and insurance, and so it's a one-stop shopping, buying, selling, never easy. But especially now, it's more difficult than ever because of all the things going on in the real estate world. Reese Nichols is going to be the name you can trust on and has been for 125 years. So come on out, celebrate next Wednesday out in the Valley. We'll tell you more about it. And, of course, Josh and Heidi and Bob will all be part of the activities next Wednesday. Reese Nichols, for all of your home buying and home selling needs, Reese Nichols or ReeseNichols.com. St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center. Here is Captain Paul Kopsky, who's not here, but Connor McCarthy is. Connor?
All right, McGraw, we've got traffic slowdowns at 55 southbound at Bayless. That's been going on all morning, as well as the slowdown on 270 northbound between 55 and 64. No accident causing that, just regular slowdown, probably due to the weather. We have more weather-related slowdowns on 64 eastbound at 170, as well as 64 eastbound at Hampton, and 170 southbound past Delmar. It's also slowed down now, and 70 eastbound at the 270 merge. That's the latest from the St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center. I'm Connor McCarthy on the Big 550 KTRS.
All right, coming up next hour, Randy's going to check in. Randy Carricker, what's going on with the Blues? Also, we'll talk about the Blue Jays. They evened the World Series last night, 2 games apiece. Ben Barnett's going to be in to talk a little Timberline tree care. And then the 9 o'clock hour, that's right, open phones. We'll take all phone calls. And how about this? Is it tomorrow on the show? Tomorrow on the show, Charlie Gibson and Joan London are going to be joining us.
Monday.
Oh, Monday.
Monday.
That's right. They changed it to Monday.
Monday.
We were talking about this. They're celebrating what? Good Morning America is 50 years old?
50 years old. And so Charlie and Joan are coming back to reminisce.
And I had such a thing for Joan London. Oh, my goodness. I was like 4, 5. No, I was like 6 or 7. I was like, who's this Joan London woman? Let's watch Good Morning America. Sesame Street, no way. Let's check
why
out.
are you so interested in the news, McGraw?
Let's check out Joan London. Can I have my Ovaltine with some Good Morning America, please? That's Monday. That should be fun. 8 o'clock, KTRS, St. Louis.
Mizzou football.
The rushing touchdown, and Missouri extends the lead.
KTRS AM, FM 106.1, K291CW St. Louis.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. President Trump is in South Korea. He has met with the prime minister on trade and will do the same thing with China's leader tomorrow. ABC senior political correspondent Rachel Scott is traveling with him.
President Trump touching down in South Korea, greeted with the YMCA on the tarmac. Korean President Lee lavishing Trump with gifts, including a replica of a golden crown, and awarding him with the Grand Order of Mungumwa, South Korea's highest honor. This is the president's final stop in Asia ahead of his high-stakes meeting with Chinese President Xi.
I think we're going to have a deal. I think it'll be a good deal for both.
If no deal is reached, the president warned he would slap an additional 100% tariff on Chinese imports by Saturday.
Back in Washington, the Senate, in a rare bipartisan move last night, voted to rescind the 50% tariffs on Brazil. 5 Republicans crossing party lines to vote with the Democrats on the bill that said there's no national emergency the president has cited to justify the tariffs. On day 29 of the federal government shutdown, dozens of states have filed lawsuits so that federal food assistance can continue for more than 40 million Americans. ABC's Jay O'Brien is at the Capitol.
SNAP, that critical federal food assistance program, is set to run out of money in just days for the first time in its 60-year history. More than 24 Democratic-led states now suing the Trump administration over the USDA's reversal. The agency now saying it doesn't legally believe it can use emergency funds to cover SNAP during this shutdown.
That's the sound of Hurricane Melissa crossing over Cuba as a Category 2 storm with maximum sustained winds of just under 100 miles an hour. More than 500,000 Jamaicans are without power right now. It's about 77% of the island. According to a new Gallup survey, obesity is at its lowest rate in 15 years, thanks in part to the widespread use of GLP-1s. About 15% of women and just under 9% of men are on it. This is ABC News.
John Beal Roofing has been proudly serving homeowners and businesses in the St. Louis metro area on both sides of the river in Missouri and Illinois for over 3 generations. A dependable roof begins with a team you can count on, and that's exactly what you get with John Beal Roofing. Recognized as one of Roofing Contractor Magazine's top 100 roofing companies, John Beal Roofing offers 24/7 emergency service and industry-leading warranties, including a lifetime workmanship warranty for total peace of mind. From upgrading an aging roof or completing a full replacement, the team at John Beal Roofing delivers solutions that are built to code, built to last, and handled with expert care. John Beal also responds quickly with reliable storm damage services backed by decades of experience and 24/7 emergency support. Get started today for expert service and a free, no-obligation estimate by calling 1-800-NEW-ROOF. That's 1-800-NEW-ROOF.
When you pay for tree work, you want to be sure you're getting the most for your hard-earned money. That's why you should always use the ISA-certified arborist at River City Tree Service in Baldwin, Missouri. Hi, I'm Steve with River City Tree Service, and we've been the go-to tree service since 2008. Tree removal, tree trimming, storm damage, deadwood removal, stump grinding, and more. Give River City Tree Service a call for all your tree service needs at 314-270-8071. That's 314-270-8071. River City Tree Service.
Schrader Funeral Homes and Crematory, St. Louis's oldest family-owned funeral home, offering complete funeral, burial, and cremation services, including an on-site reception center and crematory. 150 years of serving St. Louis families. Visit them at schrader.com.
53 degrees at 8:03. Here's what's happening now. The Ferguson Police Department is expected to announce indictments against 3 people in connection with a murder investigation involving witness tampering and child sexual abuse. The investigation centers around the murder of Corey Warren, who was shot and killed back in July on Bayview Drive in Ferguson. Investigators say Warren was allegedly murdered after refusing a $12,000 bribe to drop charges against Lavore Harmon, who was charged in June after being accused of sexually assaulting Warren's minor relative. Prosecutors say that Harmon's sister, Lavonda Harmon, arrived at Warren's home with another man and the $12,000 bribe. When Warren refused the cash, police say he was killed. More details will be released during an 11 o'clock news conference. St. Louis officials are anticipating the need for more homeless shelters this winter as a result of the May 16th tornado. This has city leaders considering hiring contractors to set up shelters for the expected uptick of those seeking help. One draft proposal outlined plans to spend $8 million to set up a shelter for up to 1,000 people and at least two others with as many as 500 beds each. Another $1 million would go toward apartments or hotel rooms. U.S. Senator Josh Hawley penned an op-ed, his legislation to fund food benefits that are set to run out on November 1 due to the ongoing government shutdown. The op-ed in the New York Times reads in part, quote, "The federal government has been shut down for 28 days and counting. That's 28 days too long and already the second longest federal shutdown ever. Saturday will be another grim milestone. That is the day about 42 million Americans will lose federal food assistance. Congress must not let that happen. America is a great and wealthy nation, and our most important wealth is our generosity of spirit," end quote. The Boeing strike in the St. Louis area continues. Yesterday, Boeing rejected a counteroffer made by union members just days after presenting its latest labor contract proposal. Union leaders released the following statement in response to Boeing's rejection of its proposal. Quote, "The company rejected our counteroffer and said they'll only accept a deal within their parameters. Our members have rejected 4 offers within the company's parameters. We've bargained in good faith and we're the last to move. The company owes us a counter, not more delays," end quote. Meanwhile, Boeing executives say they are moving into the next phase of the company's contingency plan to hire more permanent replacement workers amid the ongoing machinist strike. The company says this will likely result in some striking employees being displaced. The APA of Missouri will break ground on a new $27 million North County campus today. Once completed, the site on Benham Road will become home to APA North, a new facility designed to provide convenient pet adoptions, veterinary care, community programs, and pet owner support services for families in North County and surrounding areas. The project will be completed in 2 phases, with the first phase being completed in 2027. Phase 1 will include a veterinary and wellness clinic, spay and neuter, adoptions, and pet owner support programs. And details about this year's STL Startup Week have been released. More from KTRS's Steve Potter.
Startup Week is a time when local entrepreneurs come together to network and to learn about available resources that will help their businesses succeed. It's hosted by the St. Louis Economic Development Partnership, which serves both the city and county. Startup Week begins this year on September the 10th, when small business owners will have the opportunity to attend open houses in business incubators located in Chesterfield, Wellston, Lemay, and Olivet. Topics addressed include marketing and media relations, business financing, and how to attract both investors and customers. The goal is to help small businesses that are coming to or expanding in the St. Louis region. Steve Potter, KTRS News.
This KTRS Business Minute is brought to you by Walter Knoll Florist, the place for all your floral needs. You can place your order anytime at WKF.com. Currently 53 degrees. Time now is 8:07. I'm Rose Dalton, KTRS News, the talk of St. Louis.
From the Country Club Car Wash text line, paper straws do not operate well, get mushy fast. Metal straws, bacteria, if they do not get a good cleaning regularly. Mm-hmm. Here's another one. I carry my metal straw in my purse. All right, good. Seriously, though, McGraw, can AI put Rose Dalton's jokes at the start of your show go away? I don't know what that means. Do they don't like the jokes? What's wrong with you? Carl, meant to send this morning. My rain gauge is to the top 6 inches. Tim, formerly from NOCO, now O'Fallon, Missouri.
I believe it.
All right. Listen to this. It's a small change, but the fact that Connor is giving the highway number and then the direction and location makes the traffic much clearer and easier to understand than when Captain Paul gives the direction first, then the highway number. The traffic problem is easier to understand when he says 64 eastbound at Lindbergh instead of eastbound 64 at Lindbergh. I drive the highway first, then the direction. Just passing along the suggestion and suddenly makes communication clearer. Well done, Connor. So this guy likes it when you say 64 eastbound at Lindbergh as opposed to eastbound 64 at Lindbergh.
Because it mentions the highway first.
Yeah,
and then the
64
direction.
eastbound. So 64 as opposed to eastbound 64, because then you go 64. Oh, did he say eastbound or westbound? Yeah, no, yeah. Connor, did you?
Well, I think the texter has articulated what I was doing subconsciously. If I'm giving you directions, I'm going to tell you the highway. And so I'm thinking about the highway first, then the direction. I don't know.
Right. Yeah, no, it makes sense. Right. There's a backup on 64 eastbound at whatever, right? Yeah. As opposed to there's a backup eastbound 64. Yeah, I could see that. To be honest with you, traffic, I've listened to traffic, tried to follow traffic. It's very hard. Some people can do it. My brain just doesn't work like that.
Why didn't you mention the highway I was on?
Well, that's a whole other issue. But I did traffic, and I didn't really quite get it or understand it. So
The good ones are good.
all right. Connor, good work. Proud of you. Agree. Ditch Rose's jokes. Man, what's
Seriously?
your... Seriously?
Do you have to read that? Because now I'm like...
No, the next one says...
God, people...
618. Rose's humor is the best. Thank you. All right, there you go. Let's see here. How pathetic does your life have to be that Rose's 1-minute joke at 6 a.m. throws you into a tizzy? Folks that I know both on labor and management that work for Boeing have both commented on an insurance policy for striking that Boeing participates in. I can't read. Talk to text. It's too difficult. 811 here, Big 550 KTRS. All right, coming up, Randy's going to join us at the bottom of the hour. Talk a little sports. Ben Barnett's going to talk Timberline Tree Care. K-pop Demon Hunters. We've talked about it. It's the hottest thing on Netflix. Thanks to a Washington University professor. Post-Dispatch has a story out this morning. The worldwide phenomenon known as K-pop Demon Hunters got a boost from a professor at Washington University for Korean language. It's the most watched movie ever on Netflix.
Yep.
And it tells the story of 3 singers in a popular K-pop girls group who fight evil demons who have disguised themselves as a K-pop boy band. That's not totally accurate because Rooney is half demon, half human.
Spoiler.
She has a demon mother and a human dad, and she has to fight to win over, to fight back the demon in her.
Her internal struggles.
That is correct, yes. And so...
it's deeper than what you just said.
That's right. Well, since I've seen it 742 times.
I played 4 K-pop Demon Hunter songs last night at the hockey game.
Did the place go crazy?
The kids like it.
Yeah. That's who should sing the national anthem, the K-pop Demon Hunters. K-pop is popular music from Korea, and at the moment, it's the hottest trend in the international music scene. The film's soundtrack is full of peppy, upbeat songs that Carl plays at Blues hockey games.
Soda Pop's the best one.
The movie was made in America by 2 directors, an American man and a Korean-Canadian woman who helped make the story about her native Korean culture. They reached out to Professor Mimi Kim at Wash U because they wanted to get the cultural significance right with the language. And so she worked with them on the language to get everything that was culturally correct. And so they wanted accurate cultural representations, and they reached out to this Korean language professor at Washington University to do just that. So we have her to thank or to criticize.
The bane of your existence.
The bane of my existence. It's fine. Emerson was Rooney for Halloween. She's got this big old orange wig with the boots and the And I was like, wait a minute, she's a demon? She's like, Dad, she's only half demon. She's half human, half demon.
She's going up, up, up with her voice.
Well, that's because I have a sinus infection. 8:14 here, Big 550 KTRS. Let's find out what's happening on 64 eastbound on Lindbergh.
Well, I was really surprised at how much he knew about K-pop demon hunters, McGraw. That was
right, pretty good.
That blew me away.
I'm pretty hip.
Paying attention.
I know. Yeah, Rooney's half demon, half human.
All right, we've got a lot of traffic here on the roads today, this morning, primarily due to the rain. 55 southbound at Bayless, that's been going on all morning, as well as 270 northbound between 55 and 64. 64 eastbound has started to really slow down east of 270, especially at the 170 merge. 64 westbound as well at Hampton. And we have a stalled vehicle in the right lane of I-70 eastbound at Jennings Station Road, causing quite a bit of traffic there. This traffic report is brought to you by Fielder Electric. See what everyone is saying about the pros at Fielder Electric. See, whether it's a new build or a 100-year-old home, Fielder Electric has you covered. From the St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Connor McCarthy on the Big 550 KTRS.
From the Woods Basement Systems Weather Desk, local experts for basement waterproofing, foundation repair, crawl space repair, and more. WoodsBasementSystems.com.
I'm First Alert 4 Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton. A soaking rain is on the way, so we've got a rain all night and a real nasty Wednesday morning commute. Low of 48, windy and wet, ponding on the roads. It's going to be a slow go on this wet morning commute Wednesday. Showers continue into the afternoon, but tapering off in the afternoon. So by evening, it will be dry. 53 for the afternoon high Wednesday. And then Thursday, sunshine, a low of 42, a high of 58 for a cool but dry day. That's the latest from the First Alert 4 Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton for the Big 550 KTRS.
Let's talk Bowen Dental Care, because if you've got any issues with your teeth cleaning, you want Invisalign for the kids, right? Braces, that's the new braces for kids. Adults are getting Invisalign too. Teeth cleaning, teeth whitening, root canals, caps, implants, yeah, whatever you need. Bowen is your go-to family-run dentistry at Bowen Dental Care. They have two locations, Lee May Ferry Road in South County, and across the street from Melville High School, right? Melville High School is on one side. You look across the street, that's where you see Bowen Dental Care. They're also on Dunn Road up in North County, just down the street from Johnny Londoff Chevrolet. Two locations, one great dentist, family dentist. And if other dentists send their patients to Dr. Bowen specifically for implants. You see implant commercials all over the place, right? These corporations, they charge you an exorbitant amount of money, right? That's where the money is. So they jack up the price, and that's sort of all they do. They make it an assembly line. Well, at Dr. Bowen, it's a fully functioning dentist's office where they do everything. And if implants are needed, they can certainly do it right there in his office. And he does it at a fraction of the cost of what these corporations do on the assembly line. At Bowen, right, he's so well respected, other dentists in town send their patients to Dr. Bowen. So for all of your dental needs, including implants or cleaning or anything else, Dr. Bowen, B-O-A-I-N, Simply Secure Dentures, 314-921-3500, or simply securedentures.com.
Gingham's Homestyle Restaurant has been a staple in St. Charles for 35 years. Our comfortable, casual atmosphere offers some of the best comfort food you've ever had. Customers might know our delicious breakfast, but you can have whatever you want, anytime you want, with our full menu 24 hours a day. Nothing warms your heart like Gingham's famous vegetable soup, and we can cater your event, too. If you like homestyle food and great friendly service, you'll love Gingham's Restaurant in St. Charles. 636-946-0266 or ginghamsrestaurant.com.
I'm Mark Miller, owner of Miller Furniture and Mattress, your home for quality American-made furniture since 1927. We offer the largest selection of Amish-made furniture in the St. Louis area, plus quality living room furniture from Flex Steel and Smith Brothers. We carry top-quality mattresses from world-famous brands like Tempur-Pedic, Stearns & Foster, and Chatham & Wells. Shop our Belleville, Fairview Heights, Lake St. Louis, and Ellisville showrooms. At Miller Furniture, we put the family in furniture.
Your biggest choice in home restoration is who do you trust with your home, your most valued asset? Few can match Banner Construction's experience and dedication to excellence. Banner is an elite preferred James Hardy contractor and Pella Windows specialist. Restoration is a one-time opportunity to have Banner's design team show you architectural options to make your home the neighborhood showcase. Call for a free consultation, 314-569-1050. And have a banner day.
What goes great with Mizzou Tigers football? Well, Dogtown Pizza, of course. And with 12 different flavors to choose from, you can have a different pizza every game.
Pepperoni peppercini, hot chicken, the SOB sausage onion bacon, and the newest addition to the lineup, meatball mozzarella.
Forget the pumpkin spice. The best fall flavor is football and pizza. MIZDOG. Dogtown Pizza and dogtownpizza.com. Dogtown Pizza, and check out all 12 flavors online at dogtownpizza.com.
Hey, it's Julie Buck for our friends at Triad Bank. They are a full-service financial institution, and they've been in St. Louis for over 20 years with 2 locations, one at Clayton and Lindbergh, and the other one just west of 270 on Olive. If you've got your own business and you want to have a better banking experience, look no further than Triad Bank. Their mission is to provide a wide range of commercial and personal banking services to you and your business. For more, go to triadbanking.com.
Whether you're on your way to see the Tigers or coming back home from the game, be sure to plan a side trip to Overstock Outlet, the best random store around where new inventory from the major big box stores arrives daily. You never know what great deals you'll find, and it's right on your way. 2 locations, in Lake St. Louis at Highway N and Lake St. Louis Boulevard, and in Warrenton at Highway 47 and Highway M. Open every day from 10 until 5. Find them on Facebook at Overstock Outlet Lake St. Louis, or check out their weekly online auctions at overstockoutletauctions.com. Let's go Tigers!
Whoa, boss, how did that happen?
Mind your business.
I mean, how did a forklift make a shish kebab out of our company truck?
I said mind your business, Billy. It's why we have auto owners. We work with an independent agent to customize our policies. So when the unexpected happens, we know we're covered because unlike you, minding our business is their business.
Oh, that's simple human sense.
Ask Schrader Insurance in Union and Washington if auto owners make sense for you.
The official birthplace of the toasted ravioli is
Mama's on the Hill.
And Mama's on the Hill serves the best in town. Mama's has been a mainstay on the Hill for decades and is still a family-run restaurant serving up great Italian food in a fun atmosphere. Open 7 days a week for lunch and dinner, and right in the heart of the Hill at Edwards and Bischoff. Delicious catering and party rooms too.
Mama's on the Hill.
Make reservations at 314-776-3100 and 24/7 at mamasonthehill.com.
Diana from Newstetter's Fine Jewelers here to remind you, we don't just offer the best pieces, we offer one of the last master hand engravers in our country. My father can create timeless, personal, and unforgettable pieces. Come by our showroom at the corner of Big Ben and Doherty Ferry or learn more online at wowdiamonds.com.
Are you retired? Are you thinking about retiring? Who is helping you with retirement? Might be time to check out the show When Retirement Happens, hosted by Kevin Lloyd of Legacy Wealth Advisors. Saturday at 1, Sunday at noon on the Big 550 KTRS.
Now, back to McGraw. Presented by Londoff Chevrolet and Londoff.com on the Big 550 KTRS.
Hey, 23 here at Big 550 KTRS. Here you go from the Country Club Car Wash text line. Hey, McGraw, you did not allude to the fact that you had seen K-pop on the airplane when you said Netflix forced it upon us. I did not see it on the plane. I saw it because Netflix forced it on us.
You might like this. And then they start it.
Years ago, I used to watch Imus on MSNBC, and watching him and 2 other old white guys talk about rap artists' war is just like an old white guy talking about K-pop teen group. Okay, good to know. What else we got? Where's Captain Paul? Where is Captain Paul? Is there any reason this K-pop isn't suitable for kids to watch? No, I'd say it's
no dirty words.
No, it's okay. It's I mean, it's fun.
Tweens.
Yeah, there's nothing overly. I mean, if you're super sensitive, about kids going to rock concerts
or demons,
yeah, but
they're in hell for a little while.
It's all right. For me, it hasn't crossed that threshold, and I'm pretty sensitive to that stuff. 824 here at Big 550 KTRS. So oftentimes I get criticized for being a liberal. Oftentimes I get criticized for being a conservative. Oftentimes people want me to give you my political opinion on certain things and so on and so forth. And so I like to play umpire and balls and strikes. However, please forgive me while I gush over the news that St. Charles County Executive Steve Ellman has decided to unretire and do a Tom Brady or a name somebody else who's unretired.
Didn't Brett Favre retire 70 billion times?
Yes, Steve Ellman doing his best Brett Favre impression. Steve Ellman, County Executive Steve Ellman, has been the county executive in St. Charles since 2007.
Ooh.
Dynasty.
Yeah. He made the announcement yesterday afternoon after he said he was not going to run. And I believe the last time he was on the show, I asked him, were there any chances of you putting yourself on the ballot? And he said no, has since reversed himself, and has now said that he plans to run for a 6th term. Yes.
What's that mean for Elam?
Is he being coerced?
Funny you mentioned that. County Chair Mike Elam withdrew from the race shortly after that announcement and endorsed Steve Ellman. So there you go. There was shaping up to be a 3-person race between State Senator Bill Eigel, who hates government but keeps running for positions, and Lake St. Louis Mayor Jason Law. So who knows what the two of them are going to do. They raised a bunch of money to try and become St. Charles County executive. I'm presuming they're going to stay in the race, and it's going to be some type of primary race. But
he's 74.
74 years young.
Okay.
Yes, Steve Ellman. I think Steve Ellman is one of the best public servants that have been around in the last 20, 25 years. And I would even say longer, but I'd have to do a little more research on that. This man is compassionate. He is smart. He's intelligent. He's not irrational. He doesn't go for the quick political win. He's methodical. He's thought-worthy. He's understanding. He listens to the needs of his constituents. He understands the St. Louis region, and I would argue, as he does in this article, that people don't realize that St. Charles County is more important to the region in many ways than St. Louis City. St. Charles County is turning out to be a huge economic engine with jobs and housing and population. And as the city continues its troubles and issues, there are more and more evidence of St. Charles becoming more of an economic engine. It has more population than the city of St. Louis. And in terms of revenue and tax revenue, St. Charles County generates more tax revenue than the city of St. Louis. And so a lot of people look to the city because it's the epicenter, and it always has been, and it's been traditional and a legacy and all that type of stuff. But in actuality, St. Charles County is much more vital to the region in terms of an economic engine than the city. And a lot of people have a hard time dealing with that. And the numbers don't lie. More money is generated, more tax revenue and more dollars is generated by St. Charles than by the city of St. Louis. And, it's more of an economic engine. And the fact that Steve Ellman has announced that he's going to seek re-election is good news for St. Charles as a St. Charles resident, and good for St. Louis as a St. Louis resident because he is a steady hand.
How long do you think that's been the case? St. Charles versus the city. You know what I mean? Like, how long did it take St. Charles to kind of
about 200 years.
Like since its inception, you think?
Since Lewis and Clark left from downtown St. Charles. Since they left from Llewellyn's on Main Street in St. Charles.
Where'd they die?
Look, for all sorts of reasons, people have moved out to St. Charles. And I know when I came here 25 years ago, the perception was, no one goes to St. Charles, but it's over 25 years. I don't know where that stereotype came from. There are all sorts of people who live in St. Charles. There's all sorts of diversity in St. Charles. There's all sorts of young and old and rich and middle class and working class, and there's all sorts of jobs there. People moving out for a little more land, a little less,
it was such a boom in the 90s. Yeah, so
right?
many people. Yeah.
With the issues in North County with some of those towns, they've moved out to St. Charles and have sort of moved on. And people moving to the region moved to St. Charles. People looking for nice suburban.
Well, it was like more house for them, like
affordable housing.
100%.
I mean, it's way more affordable housing.
Yes.
For some reason, you cross over the Missouri River, gas is cheaper in the Missouri. I have no idea why. It's cheaper in St. Charles than it is in St. Louis County.
Individual county taxes. Their taxes are lower.
Even though the state taxes are the same?
Because there's not just a state tax, there's also a city tax.
Well, it's significantly cheaper in St. Charles. Everything's cheaper in St. Charles.
I had to get like a work permit when I worked at the Embassy Suites in St. Charles when I lived in the city.
Because you were 16?
No, because you have to work. Like it was
They
bizarre. Well, I remember you have to go to the city hall and get and I was like, does everybody have to do this?
Right.
I was a
you had a
massage
scarlet
therapist.
letter because you were from the city?
No, I just think it's because I don't live in St. Charles, so I had to.
That might have been
in
an
St.
age
Charles.
thing.
Well, like I said, and I was going as a it was as a massage therapist, so I don't know if that was
okay.
separate.
You might need a license for your job.
But I'm licensed. I just meant it was an honest I don't live there, so you have to pay. I remember going up there. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly the point. Like it was just like a $25 whatever, but I was like, that's odd.
Yeah, I don't know.
One time,
But I mean, that's great news all the way around. That Steve Ellman has announced that he is not retiring and he's trying for another job. So if I am exposed as a Steve Ellman fan, guilty as charged and proud of it. So that's good. Great news for the region and great news for St. Charles. All right, 8:32 here, Big 550, KTRS. St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center. Here is Captain Paul Kopsky. No. By the way, hold on a second. That doesn't mean I always think he's right. He's a very average basketball player, Steve Ellman, and he's
74.
He's a terrible referee too. He's a guy's blind as a bat. No, I'm joking. But he's not a very good basketball player. 8:32. Now let's check in with Connor McCarthy in the St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center.
All right, McGraw, much of the traffic we've been experiencing all morning through the rainy morning is still going on. 55 southbound at Bayless, 270 northbound between 55 and 64, 64 eastbound east of 270 until about the 170 merge, 64 westbound at Hampton. We do have a accident on the right lane of 70 westbound at Earth City causing some traffic there. And the accident on 70 eastbound at Jennings Station Road has been cleared up. Traffic starting to move normally there. This traffic report is brought to you by Sound Health Services. Tired of that stuffy nose and constant post-nasal drip? You don't have to tough it out. The ENT specialists at Helios Advanced Sinus Centers from Sound Health Services offer relief at 7 convenient locations across the St. Louis area. Call 844-78-SINUS to schedule your visit. From the St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Connor McCarthy on the Big 550 KTRS.
All right, let's talk weather. We've got some rain in the forecast. It rained all night. Every place is drenched. That's good news. We need it bad. Rainfall will continue this afternoon, maybe about a quarter of an inch more when it's all said and done. High today of 56. Overnight tonight, clouds will continue. Rain will move out, low of 40. Tomorrow, the sun will make an appearance, but still plenty of clouds on Thursday, high of 59. Friday, we'll get some more clouds, some sun, high of 62 on Friday. 53 right now. At 8:34, let's go back to the newsroom. Here's Rose Dalton.
Hurricane Melissa is grinding across eastern Cuba as a Category 2 storm after pummeling Jamaica as one of the strongest Atlantic hurricanes on record. At least one new death is reported in Jamaica. The U.S. National Hurricane Center says Melissa is forecast to move into the Bahamas later today. The Federal Reserve is expected to cut its short-term rate today for the second time this year, despite an increasingly cloudy view of the economy it is trying to influence. The data drought raises risks for the Fed because it is widely expected to keep cutting rates in an effort to shore up growth and hiring. In local headlines, Governor Mike Kehoe recommends that those who rely on SNAP benefits turn to food pantries. This is in response to federal food benefits expected to run out on Saturday amid the government shutdown. Over 667,000 Missourians stand to lose SNAP benefits. This is in addition to the 56,000 Missourians who work for the federal government and may not receive a paycheck this week. The Illinois Department of Transportation will hold a public meeting today to discuss a study for the proposed improvements on Illinois 13 from Illinois 157 to South 23rd Street in St. Clair County. The meeting will be held from 4 p.m. until 7 p.m. at the Welcome Center, Southwestern Illinois Justice and Workforce Development Campus in Belleville. 52 degrees. Time now is 8:35. I'm Rose Dalton, KTRS News, the talk of St. Louis.
Hey, we'll check in with Randy here in just a minute. Talk about that tough Blues loss last night. Lisi Lumber is here to help you for all of your materials for your next job. If you're a builder, a contractor, a homeowner, Lisi Lumber is where you're going to go to get all of your materials. They will deliver it right to the job site. They can handle everything from estimates to planning to completion. They can handle residential, commercial remodeling, additions, supplies, all of the materials for you. Lisi Lumber's been doing this since 1872. They've got timbers, Douglas fir and cedar. They do custom milling. They've got hardwoods, cedar and oak and poplar and cherry, mahogany, timber trusses and floor trusses, architectural renderings, or maybe you scribbled something on the back of a bar napkin. Don't worry about it. Lisi Lumber has better materials and better pricing. When you buy from the big box stores, your yield on your wood is not that good. And I don't mean that as any euphemism. I mean you don't get a lot of good wood. It's bowed, it's warped, and you can't use it. So what good is the price if you can't use half the wood you buy? Lisi, they're known since 1872 for having better wood, better yields. You get more use out of it, you save yourself some money. Customer service, family-run St. Louis company, what are you waiting for? Lisi is your go-to. Liese, Lisi, or LisiLumber.com.
Worldwide Technology Raceway is the only track in America to host a NASCAR event, an IndyCar event, and an NHRA event.
Don't miss the NHRA Lucas Oil Drag Racing Series and Friday night's Midnight Madness with Fall Festival and Halloween themes, including a track or treat event. Be sure to wear your best costume.
The track, under the leadership of owner Curtis Francois, continues to upgrade the race experience for fans who come from around the country. For tickets, go to WWTRaceway.com.
The fall leaves are starting to change colors, and soon enough they'll be dropping. Do you have old or damaged trees that need to come down too? Let the qualified arborists at Raised Tree Service do the work for you. Raised Tree Service has over 30 years of experience servicing the St. Louis area. Give them a call today at 314-821-2665 for a free estimate with one of their professionals. That's 314-821-2665 or online at raisedtreeservice.com.
Your biggest choice in home restoration is who do you trust with your home, your most valued asset? Few can match Banner Construction's experience and dedication to excellence. Banner is an elite preferred James Hardy contractor and Pella window specialist. Restoration is a one-time opportunity to have Banner's design team show you architectural options to make your home the neighborhood showcase. Call for a free consultation, 314-569-1050. And have a Banner Day.
Let's talk about a getaway where you're not spending all the time on the road. How about Innsbruck? Think about it. You could go from your desk to a canoe and do some fishing in about 25, 30 minutes. They've got A-frames, they got tree houses, or if you're looking for a place to live that's away from hustle and bustle, custom homes, condos as well. It is absolutely gorgeous. Have you been out? Have you looked? Go to Innsbruck-resort.com to find your getaway.
October is officially Financial Planning Month. The One Beautiful Bill Act locked in many of the tax laws set to revert back to the 2017 rules. But there were also changes to the tax code in this law, and we can help. If you're not taking full advantage of the tax law and you feel like you're paying more than your fair share, then let us help you plan for 2026 and take advantage of the new tax rules.
Give Capital Advisory Group a call at 636-394-5524. Online at capitaladvisorygrp.com.
Hey, the number 2 crew reporting for duty.
Number 2 crew. Let's get in that yard and clean up that doggy doo.
The number 2 crew will visit your yard once a week in the St. Louis area, and they'll take care of your dog's business. Think of them as your yard's best friend.
We are the number 2 crew. We do poo, you do you.
Customers can sign up through their website and utilize their customer portal for any sort of changes or updates. The number2crew.com or 314-717-8880.
We pick up what your dog left behind.
The number2crew.com.
Explore passion and romance as the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra performs 2 of the most exhilarating pieces in orchestral music. Violinist Nikolaj Sepp-Snyder showcases his virtuosity as he soars through Tchaikovsky's Violin Concerto, and music director Stefan Deneve leads the SLSO in Rachmaninoff's breathtakingly beautiful Second Symphony. Experience this unforgettable performance November 1st and 2nd. Tickets available at slso.org.
Royal Banks of Missouri is proudly reinvesting in its hometown of University City. Their new branch at 8550 Olive Boulevard is now open to serve you. Visit their team in University City to discover how they can help you refresh your finances and invest in your future today. Call 314-212-1500 or go to royalbanksofmo.com for more information. Royal Banks of Missouri, member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Air Care is the HVAC and plumbing provider your neighbors depend on. You've probably seen their orange vans with penguins on it around town. Well, backed by decades of experience and continuous training, their team is proud to offer Greater St. Louis homeowners and businesses the highest standard of service, from effortless online booking and free estimates to 24/7 emergency service and comprehensive maintenance plans. Classic Air Care aims to make it easy and convenient to keep your home or business running smoothly. Discover the Classic Air Care difference online at classicaircare.com.
And now it's Sports in the Morning with Randy Carricker, brought to you by Royal Banks of Missouri and Classic Air Care.
8:41. Let's check in with Randy Carricker. Randy, what is going on with your Blues? They were supposed to, right? Everybody was excited. It was a new season. There was all sorts of talk. They lose again last night to the Red Wings. What's going on?
Well, McGraw, I don't think it's an issue of talent, and I don't think it's an issue of coaching. I think Jim Montgomery and his staff do a really good job. I think one of the things that they've run into, and Jim Montgomery has talked about this, is the consistency of effort that they provide. And I don't know if it's because of the stretch that they had last year at the end of the season, in which they were really good, and maybe they were feeling it and feeling they were better than they really were. I don't know if it's inexperience. I don't know if it's losing veteran players like Nick Leddy and Ryan Suter and Radek Faksa. But it seems to me that there is just a lack of consistent effort on the part of this team, and I wish I could figure it out, because I don't think they're a bad team by any stretch of the imagination. But things can get away in a big hurry in the NHL, and the Blues have obviously come back from some big deficits in the past. But those are the exceptions rather than the rule. They better get things going in a hurry, because the schedule is going to get tougher. They're going to see the Colorados and Winnipegs of the world in their division pretty soon. And the easy part of the schedule was this part of the schedule, and they've kind of let that already get away.
So how much of this is goaltending? Because it seems like they're giving up a lot of goals.
It's definitely part of it. Hofer has had a rough start. Binnington has not been he obviously has not stolen the games for the Blues, but it is pretty remarkable how many grade A chances the opposition gets and how many goals they score from, as Ken Hitchcock used to call them, the ladies' tees. There's a lot of pucks that are just left right out in front of the net with the inability of the goalie to get back. And I know the inexperience of the defense has something to do with this, but it's really not Mailloux and Tyler Tucker that gang, Matt Kessel, those guys aren't devastating this team. The Blues are going to be built on maintaining the possession of the puck in the offensive zone, and they haven't done that really at all this year. Maybe there's been a few moments, but what they need to do is they need to play hard. They need to be hard to play against. And the key when the Blues have been successful with this group, and actually since they won the Cup, is maintain possession of the puck in the offensive zone, go in and forecheck, get to the net, and they really haven't done any of that. Doesn't help them that their leading scorers hurt for a while too, I guess. Yeah, but Neighbors being out is also going to hurt them. And then you get a guy, I think the most talented player on this team is Pavel Buchnevich, and we've seen virtually nothing from him, and I think that is an effort issue. He really hasn't been the same player since he signed the big contract, and that's got to be frustrating for the coaching staff and Doug Armstrong and Ryan Miller and the people that signed him. But there are other issues. There are big issues and small issues with this team, and there's a lot to work through. I will say this. Jim Montgomery, several years ago, led the Bruins to the best record of any team in the history of the National Hockey League for one season. They got the third or fourth best winning percentage in the league's history. So I don't think this is a coaching issue. I think this is a player issue first and foremost. I have complete faith in Doug Armstrong's ability to evaluate talent. And so I think this gets down to the dressing room, and it gets down to the leadership, and it gets down to the effort. Yeah, 5 in a row, and they haven't looked good, and they haven't been really close, really, in any of them. They came out strong last night, but failed to sustain it through the whole game, so end up losing 5 in a row. We'll wait and see how all that works. I don't know about you, but this World Series is fun to watch. I'll tell you what, McGraw, and I think both of us probably thought the Dodgers would win in 5. And part of what makes it fun is the fact that Toronto has been able to get it tied at 2 apiece and get it back to Toronto. I was surprised that, and I shouldn't have been, that they got to Ohtani last night. I think the 18-inning game changes everything. And it's a matter of how you handle your team and your bullpen after that game. And I really think tonight is going to be the big game in terms of people being worn out from Game 3. You have the adrenaline going in Game 4, and you get back to the ballpark. I think now tonight will be when the muscles are tired and the bodies are tired and the minds are tired. I think this is monstrous tonight because I do think that even with Yamamoto on the mound, it's a chance for Toronto to win the game. So I'll be interested to see if they can pull it off. I tell you what, I really like the Blue Jays manager, John Schneider. What a nice, unassuming, simple, sort of straightforward type of manager. Yeah, I like him a lot, too. And it's fun to hear and see his interviews between innings. I don't like the way that he pinch ran for a catcher with another catcher, but that's another thing altogether. But no, he does seem like a guy. And one of the things that's happened in baseball is that as you know, because you played and you watched for such a long time, the nuance of the game is gone. The strategy of the game is pretty much gone. And what you want to do is get players to play hard. And I think that Schneider does a really good job of that. And obviously at this time of year, you don't need to do that. But for 6 months, you need to get people that are making a minimum of $760,000 to give you effort 80, 90, 95% of the time. And I think Schneider did a really good job of that during the regular season. And it's always nice to have a pitcher come through, and that's what happened for Toronto last night. As Earl Weaver used to say, your momentum is only as strong as your next day's starting pitcher. Yeah, no question. I'll tell you what, on a side note, I love Joe Davis and I love Schmaltz on the game. They are two broadcasters who make the game more interesting. Yeah, and they're obviously excited and thrilled by it. It took me a while to get used to the fact that Joe Buck wasn't in that booth. But, yeah, Joe Davis is an outstanding broadcaster. For people that aren't aware of it, he is the voice of the Dodgers that replaced Vin Scully, and they like him in L.A., and it's hard to be the guy that replaces the guy, especially when he's a legend. Remember what happened with Wayne Hagen here. Yeah. When you replace a legend, it's a tough thing to do, but Joe Davis has done that successfully. He's a great football broadcaster as well, and I think John Smoltz is great. I know there's a lot of people that don't like John Smoltz. He was here in 2009 down the stretch. I just like talking pitching with John Smoltz. And I'm going to name drop here. A couple of weeks ago when I was in Atlanta for the Brian Jordan Golf Tournament, I talked for a long time with Smoltz's old pitching coach, Leo Mazzoni. Those guys get it. And I think baseball could use some of that thought process, the Smoltz and the Leo Mazzoni thought process, even with the way the game is analytically driven in 2025.
Yeah, I would like to be a Braves fan. The Braves do it right. I just hate the Braves. That's the only problem. But I'd like to be a Braves fan.
I understand that.
Who did you say? Wayne who? Who did you mention? Wayne who?
Wayne Hagen. Wayne Hagen, the guy that replaced Jack Buck.
Yeah, I know. I liked Wayne, but never to be heard from again, right?
And he was a good broadcaster. And you're right, never to be heard from.
Left here, went to the Mets for a year or two, and then never to be heard from again.
And then the party was over. You don't want to be that guy that replaces the legend.
That is true. That's why you do not want to replace Randy Carricker, the legend. Randy, who's your sponsor?
It's our friends at Dalco Home Remodeling, and I'm really excited to be able to talk about them, McGraw, because they're a local company, and they've been proudly serving the St. Louis community for over 50 years with windows, doors, siding, roofing, and best. Right now is a great time to save on windows at Dalco with a $600 tax credit on new windows, plus an additional $60 per Elite Series window with 0% financing for 18 months. This offer ends November 15th, and windows have to be installed by December 31st. Book your job online at Dalco, D-A-L-C-O, DalcoHomeRemodeling.com.
St. Louis Classic Company Traffic Center. Here's once again is Connor McCarthy.
All right, McGraw, the stalled vehicle on 70 eastbound by 170 has been cleared off the roads, as well as the accident on 70 eastbound by Jennings Station Road. 70 eastbound now moving along very well. Other than that, just a few trouble spots that have been acting up all morning. 55 southbound at Bayless, 270 northbound between 55 and 64, as well as 64 eastbound east of 270 and 64 westbound at Hampton. This traffic report is brought to you by Fielder Electric. See what everyone is saying about the pros at Fielder Electric. Whether it's a new build or a 100-year-old home, Fielder Electric has you covered. From the St. Louis Classic Company Traffic Center, I'm Connor McCarthy on the Big 550 KTRS.
Connor McCarthy. Hold on a second. Hold your horses here. Connor, how long ago did you tell me that I should buy stock in a company no one's ever heard of called NVIDIA?
Well, I wish I had enough. I wish I would have bought it when I was recommending
How
it
long
to
ago? How long ago was that? Was that 2 years ago? 3 years ago?
No, it was longer than that. I think it was maybe like 5 years ago.
5 years
if not
ago.
a little bit longer.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it was 5 years ago. At what price was NVIDIA when you told me to buy it?
So they've split a bunch of times, so the price it's hard to track, but it's certainly gone up a lot.
When you told me to buy a NVIDIA, how much was it on that day?
It
was like $9?
I can't recall.
Was it $9?
Yeah, I mean, probably if you consider the splits, something like that.
I think it was like $9. Well, the reason why I bring this up is I didn't listen to Connor, obviously. Haven't been listening to him for the 20 years I've known him. And NVIDIA became the first company this morning to hit the $5 trillion in value. Its chip maker shares have recently topped $210. So, thanks for nothing, Connor. You should have told me to buy it. You should have forced me to buy it.
I tried.
You try me to. You yell at me for so many other things, but the one thing you should have yelled at me about and made me do, you didn't.
Well,
it's an outrage.
Maybe you'll listen to me. You always say we don't listen to you about the Stickley furniture or the pen shows or
yes. If you would have said to me, look, you have to buy this, listen to me, I'm slapping you across the face, buy this stock, I would have listened to you. But no, thanks.
Maybe next time.
8:52 here, Big 550 KTRS.
From the Woods Basement Systems Weather Desk. Local experts for basement waterproofing, foundation repair, crawl space repair, and more. WoodsBasementSystems.com.
I'm First Alert 4 Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton. A soaking rain is on the way, so we've got a rain all night and a real nasty Wednesday morning commute. Low of 48, windy and wet, ponding on the roads. It's going to be a slow go on this wet morning commute Wednesday. Showers continue into the afternoon, but tapering off in the afternoon. So by evening, it will be dry. 53 for the afternoon high Wednesday. And then Thursday, sunshine, a low of 42, a high of 58 for a cool but dry day. That's the latest from the First Alert 4 Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton for the Big 550 KTRS.
All right, we have our Country Club Car Wash text of the day. Can we get a drum roll, please? We have our Country Club Car Wash text of the day. They will receive a free country club car wash. You ready for this? From the 314. Captain Paul is off today, and so is Callista, the traffic girl on Fox 2 in the morning. Maybe they are together, quote unquote, comparing traffic stories. Just saying. No Captain Paul and no Callista Matrista on Fox 2. Inquiring minds want to know. Wouldn't that be a scandal if the two traffic reporters hooked up? Got to make a phone call over there to Martin Kilcoyne to find out what's going on. That just shows you a little window into the heart of Captain Paul. The window was opened courtesy of the Window Store. How's that for a transition? Here's what you need to know. The Window Store, 314-739-0002. The Window Store, 314-739-0002. Larry Thornton is the owner of the Window Store. They don't want to sell you windows. They'll give you a bid. They'll shake your hand. They hope to hear from you. There is no upselling. They're not going to stand in your living room demanding you to buy their windows. If you need quality windows, if you need quality doors, the Window Store has been doing it for 37 years. They need a warehouse manager, by the way. They also need installers. Why? Because so many people from KTRS are calling up buying windows. 314-739-0002 or wswindow.net.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduce stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Hi, I'm Mike Robinson with Robank Properties, and I want your fixer-upper home. It's crazy to spend a ton of money fixing it up when I will pay you top dollar right now. I don't even care what condition it's in. Your trash is my treasure. No inspections, no contingencies, just cold, hard cash. Call me, Mike Robinson, at 314-283-0867. That's Mike Robinson, 314-283-0867, or at robangproperties.com.
It's Julie Buck here to tell you that the patio is open at Bishop's Post right next to Chesterfield Mall. Get your reservations in now and go to Bishop's Post. You will love it. Tell them Julie Buck sent you, bishopspost.com.
I'm Mark Miller, owner of Miller Furniture and Mattress, your home for quality American-made furniture since 1927. We offer the largest selection of Amish-made furniture in the St. Louis area, plus quality living room furniture from Flex Steel and Smith Brothers. We carry top-quality mattresses from world-famous brands like Tempur-Pedic, Stearns & Foster, and Chatham & Wells. Shop our Belleville, Fairview Heights, Lake St. Louis, and Ellisville showrooms. At Miller Furniture, we put the family in furniture.
Schrader Funeral Homes and Crematory, St. Louis's oldest family-owned funeral home, offering complete funeral, burial, and cremation services, including an on-site reception center and crematory. 150 years of serving St. Louis families. Visit them at Schrader.com.
With Progressive's Home Quote Explorer, you can easily find the right home insurance for you, even if it's not with Progressive. But if you don't choose us, then sure, okay, it's not going to work out. We're not going to cry about it or stay awake wondering what our future together would have looked like. We can't get emotionally invested, even if it sounds like we are. Progressive's Home Quote Explorer allows you to easily compare home insurance rates and coverages in one place, even if it's not with us. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy. I love you. I shouldn't have said that.
Watch your favorite team, eat your favorite food. It's the Village Bar. You've heard about the world-famous cheeseburger. Stop by and check it out. Even better, bring your friends on your way to the game, after the game, or just watching the game. Food, sports, and a cold beer. We'll see you at the Village Bar.
It's Macy's Friends and Family, the best time to kickstart your holiday shopping with big savings on our best brands like DKNY, Hugo Boss, Karl Lagerfeld Paris, and more at 30% off. Plus, take 15% off Valentino, Gucci, and more top beauty brands. Or Star Rewards members can earn $20 in Star Money for every $100 spent on eligible brands. Going on now, only at Macy's Friends and Family. Savings off regular and already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
Quick check of traffic. St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center. Here, once again, is Connor McCarthy.
McGraw, are the most major slowdowns we're experiencing right now are 64 westbound west of Hampton, as well as 64 eastbound east of 270 until the 170 merge. We're also getting a little bit of traffic now on 55 southbound at Bayless due to regular construction. That's the latest from the St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center. I'm Connor McCarthy on the Big 550 KTRS.
When you pay for tree work, you want to be sure you're getting the most for your hard-earned money. That's why you should always use the ISA-certified arborist at River City Tree Service in Baldwin, Missouri. Hi, I'm Steve with River City Tree Service, and we've been the go-to tree service since 2008. Tree removal, tree trimming, storm damage, deadwood removal, stump grinding, and more. Give River City Tree Service a call for all your tree service needs at 314-270-8071. That's 314-270-8071. River City Tree Service.
Mizzou football.
It's a rushing touchdown, and Missouri extends the lead.
KTRS AM, FM 1061, K291CW St. Louis. If it's soccer in St. Louis, it's talked about on the soccer voice in St. Louis.
The Big 550
KTRS.
St.
From
Louis.
ABC News. I'm Sherry Preston. This is day 29 of the federal government shutdown, and there's been no movement on either side of the aisle to pass a funding bill that would reopen it. Democrats want government subsidies restored to help tens of millions of Americans on Obamacare pay their health insurance premiums. Republicans say they won't negotiate until the government opens up again. ABC's Jay O'Brien is on Capitol Hill.
And even some Republicans starting to feel the heat from this health care issue, too. Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene saying that she confronted Speaker of the House Mike Johnson on a GOP conference call yesterday in a heated exchange, saying that she has, quote, no respect for the House being out on recess for the fifth straight week in a row now, and saying she demanded to know what the Republican plan for health care is.
24 Democratic-led states have sued the Trump administration to ensure that food benefits for about 40 million Americans are not cut off this weekend. President Trump is in South Korea for the start of the APEC conference. He has held trade talks with the Prime Minister of South Korea and will hold them tonight with China's Xi Jinping. Last night, the president criticized the country's Federal Reserve chair, saying,
mortgage rates are down despite the fact that we have an incompetent head of the Fed. He's incompetent. I call him Jerome Too Late. He's always too late. Jerome Too Late Powell. But he's out of there in another couple of months. We'll be very happy about that.
And just like that.
For the fourth week in a row, mortgage rates last week fell, with the 30-year fixed rate down to 6.3%, the lowest level since September of 2024. A dark spot in the numbers comes in home loans under the U.S. Department of Agriculture. Applications for USDA-backed mortgages fell by 26% last week.
ABC's Jim Ryan. Today, the Fed is expected to lower a key interest rate at the conclusion of its October meeting. Hurricane Melissa weakening as it moves across Cuba. Yesterday, Jamaica got hit. Currently, 70% of the island is without power. This is ABC News.
Don't miss Straight Talk on Retirement with Jeff and Aaron Lapidus every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Join this dynamic father-daughter duo every Saturday morning for an entertaining and intimate understanding of the retirement needs you may soon be facing. From decades of financial planning expertise combined with a deep knowledge of healthcare benefits, Aaron and Jeff will give you the Straight Talk on Retirement every Saturday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. right here on the Big 550. KTRS.
At Maryville University, we power dreams, not just degrees. For nearly 150 years, we've empowered graduates to build successful careers. At Maryville, expect a rigorous, technology-driven, mentor-inspired education in a diverse and inclusive learning environment. We help you take it to the next level, no matter what field you choose. Now is the time to turn your ambition into action and transform your dream into reality. Start your journey at maryville.edu.
Navigating to and through retirement doesn't have to be complex. Listen to What Retirement Means to You with Jerry Means. Sunday mornings at 10 on KTRS, The Talk of St. Louis.
52 degrees at 9:03.
Funeral services have been set for 4 family members of Illinois gubernatorial candidate Darren Bailey, who were killed in a helicopter crash. Last week, Bailey's son Zachary, his wife Kelsey, and 2 of their children, Veda and Samuel, were all killed in the crash last week in Montana. A celebration of life service will be at 9 a.m. Monday at the Oil Belt Camp, also in Flora. The man accused of killing a St. Louis police officer in a drunk driving crash last year has pleaded guilty. Ramon Chavez Rodriguez changed his plea yesterday in a St. Louis courtroom. He admitted to killing Officer David Lee, who was fatally struck while directing traffic on I-70 after a crash. Chavez Rodriguez will be sentenced at a later date. Since his plea was not part of a deal, prosecutors say they will seek the maximum of 15 years in prison. Boeing executives say they are moving into the next phase of the company's contingency plan to hire more permanent replacement workers amid the ongoing machinist strike. The company says this will likely result in some striking employees being displaced. And Pedal the Cause is urging the public to take part in its current fundraising campaign supporting cancer research before this week's deadline. More from KTRS's Steve Potter.
Pedal the Cause is noted as one of the top cycling fundraisers in North America, with thousands participating each year in St. Louis. And since 2010, has raised $51 million to fund 255 cancer research projects at Siteman Cancer Center and Siteman Kids at St. Louis Children's Hospital. Organizers are asking St. Louis area residents to help reach its 2025 fundraising goal before the Pedal to the Finish campaign wraps up on Friday of this week. More information can be found at pedalthecause.org, and they report that 100% of every dollar raised stays in St. Louis. The date for next year's Pedal the Cause ride has been set for September 19th and 20th, with registration beginning next spring. Steve Potter, KTRS News.
Harris-Stowe State University is planning to construct a new building for its science, technology, engineering, and math programs. The 4-story building will be located on Laclede Avenue in the university's main campus. It will include 12 research labs, a 600-person event space with a rooftop terrace, dedicated labs for biology, chemistry, and physics, and at least 6 classrooms. The project is expected to be completed by July of 2027. This KTRS Business Minute is brought to you by Walter Knoll Florist, a place for all your floral needs, and you can place your order anytime at WKF.com. And now let's take a look at the markets, brought to you by JBL Financial. Tune in to Straight Talk on Retirement on Saturday mornings from 9 to 11. The Dow is up 297 points to 48,000. The S&P is up 25 points to 6,900. And the NASDAQ is up 187 points to 24,000. In KTRS Sports, Blues forward Jake Neighbors will be lost for the next several weeks as he deals with a right leg injury. Neighbors currently leads the note with 6 goals on the season. Mizzou women's basketball lost to Maryville last night in exhibition play 90-84 in overtime. Kelly Harper makes her regular season coaching debut Monday night at home with Central Arkansas. In KTRS Time Saver traffic. Let's go to the KTRS St. Louis Plaza Company Traffic Center for a look at the roads, where we find Connor McCarthy standing by.
Rose, the traffic on 270 northbound between 55 and 64 has finally started to clear out, but we are still seeing traffic on 55 southbound at Bayless, as well as on 64 eastbound east of 270 and 64 westbound at Hampton. Other than that, things are finally starting to clear out here as we get out of the morning. This traffic report is brought to you by Neighbors Credit Union. Check out the Neighbors Credit Union Debit All Day account, a checklist checking account featuring a Neighbors Visa debit card, the convenience of online and mobile banking, and access to your direct deposits up to 2 days early. Online at neighborscu.org. From the St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Connor McCarthy on the Big 550 KTRS.
Thank you, Connor. In KTRS weather today, rain likely throughout the rest of the morning, then windy conditions throughout the afternoon and a high of 55. Partly cloudy tonight with an overnight low of 40, and tomorrow sunny with a high of 57. Currently 52 degrees at 9:07. I'm Rose Dalton, KTRS News, the talk of St. Louis.
Looking for a great local restaurant recommendation?
Missy Mo.
Tune in to the Kuno Food Service weekly special during the Frank and Jill Show, Thursdays at 11. Hear from the best of the best restaurant owners in town. Only on the Frank and Jill Show, Thursdays at 11. Presented by Kuno Food Service, right here on the Big 550 KTRS, the talk of St. Louis.
Kick off football season like a pro with the world's largest sports book at your fingertips. Circa Sports Illinois. It's sports betting the way it should be. With high app limits, low holds, exceptional customer service, and no bet fees ever. Other books may charge you just to get on the field, but with Circa Sports, every play is yours to call. Start betting like a pro from anywhere, anytime in Illinois. Download your new bookie today at circasports.com.
Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Mama's on the Hill is the legendary birthplace of the Toasted Rav, and Mama's is the premier family restaurant on the Hill. Make a reservation online at mamasonthehill.com.
Hey, it's John Carney. A lot of conversations with the folks over at Allen Roofing, pretty much asking advice, because I know a lot of people got smacked by that storm, and he had some great advice for people to think about. First off, be careful of who you talk to when you're going to get some work done. Make sure there's an agreement, and the scope of work is laid out in that contract. Also, as you can imagine, a lot of contractors are busy. Give them some time, and you know what? Allen Roofing will come put a tarp on your roof at no charge, even if you don't use them when you get the roof repaired. Also, check the Better Business Bureau, see what the reviews are for contractors that you deal with, and also remember, insurance companies allow up to an entire year from the date of loss to file a claim. So you've got time to get those repairs done and that replacement done. Don't rush it. Just a few tips from the people that know roofing and repairs better than anyone. It's Allen Roofing, online at aroofing.net.
Royal Banks of Missouri invites you to the 2025 Economic Forecast Breakfast, Tuesday, November 18th at the Factory in Chesterfield. Hear from local experts, Ron Amlin of St. Louis Small Business Monthly, Dr. William Emmons, retired economist, and many more on current market conditions and what lies ahead for the U.S. economy in 2026 and beyond. For more info and to RSVP, visit royalbanksofmo.com. Royal Banks of Missouri, member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Now, back to McGraw. Presented by Londoff Chevrolet and Londoff.com on the Big 550 KTRS. This is the McGraw Show on KTRS.
All right, mental health break. We'll talk a little wood right now. How about that? Ben Barnett from Timberline Tree Care was supposed to join us last hour, but I was late with the clock, so we didn't have enough time. So we pushed him into the 9 o'clock hours. We could have a full-fledged conversation about wood and trees and everything else. Good morning, Ben.
Good morning, McGraw. Good morning, Carl. How you doing?
Yeah,
Nice to see you, Ben.
We're living the dream. We were talking on the break. You guys, normally this is the slower time for you guys. But you're able, the phones are ringing off the hook. What's going on?
Yeah, we're getting tons of calls still. Generally around the holidays when Thanksgiving starts, people start thinking about the holidays and Thanksgiving, you know, the new calls come in. But it gives us the opportunity to work our backlog that we've built up throughout the busier time and get it worked out. But the thing that people should remember is fall is an excellent time to do many different things for your trees. So it's a great time for tree pruning. It's a great time for tree planting. We've got truckloads of trees to plant here in the next coming weeks and months. It's a great time to get a soil sample and get your soil tested for plans for next year for your fertilization program.
So not only do you trim trees and take down trees, but you also plant trees.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Do you do that as, I mean, if somebody just wants trees planted, you come out and say, these would be good here, these wouldn't be good here. You sort of help navigate that whole process.
We do that all the time. We'll take a look at the site, kind of what's around, what the client wants as far as a flowering tree, a shade tree, what might fit size-wise. We can take a look at the soil, what might work that way, give them some options, and then if they want to take our options and plant their own tree, excellent. If they want us to do it even better, we'll take care of them for you.
You know what's amazing is that I know nothing about trees, but that's why I love talking to you, because you're, Mr. Tree Guy. How many trees are poorly planted or the wrong tree in the wrong space?
The numbers are staggering, and I don't have any exact data, but from my experience, almost all of them. I mean, you've really got to go with a good contractor to get in. And a lot of people don't know any better, and they're doing it too. One of the big problems is when you go get a tree from the nursery, it's already too deep. So you have to remove a lot of the soil off the top of that and get down to your first main order structural root and put that above the soil level. And people just don't know that. And, you won't really see any effects from that for probably 5 or 10 plus years. So at the time, it just caught some kind of disease and died or whatever. But no, really, it was doomed from the start because it was put in the ground wrong.
Not only that, how many home developers or home builders don't even think about the trees they're putting in right? They just go and get the cheapest tree possible and put it in wherever they have to put it in to sell the house.
Absolutely. Developers are the worst, whether it's a shopping mall or a new building, residential development. They're just trying to meet the minimum requirements, the minimum standards by whatever city they're working in, and they're going to stab as many trees in the ground, and they could care less if they're alive a year or two later.
Yeah. So knowing what tree goes where is a very important service that you guys provide.
It's huge. And if you're only thinking about the trees when they're in the pot or ball and burlap, what the size of them is now, and you plant it right. I don't know how many times we cut down great trees because it's just too close to the house or too close to the sidewalk or too close to the driveway.
When
we cut them down.
Yeah, when you came to my house, that bald cypress in the corner, you looked at it, and I was, what do I want to do with this? And you said, that tree is planted in the exact perfect spot.
Yep, exactly. Low spot, all the drainage goes to it. It's a swamp tree that's going to love a lot of moisture in the soil. So, great spot.
And I came in this morning, I was telling you, I'm watching that tree grow. I mean, I come home, it's a foot taller.
Yeah, they just go great if they're like the spots they're in. I've had the fortune to go back and look at trees that I've planted 5, 10, 15 years ago and just watch them go crazy. They really don't take as long as people think to get, I hear it all the time, and it's kind of, people say things jokingly, but I'll never see it get that big. Well, you probably will, really. You can see this tree be a nice tree in the next 10 years.
If you plant it right,
and
you know where to plant it and how to plant it and plant it right and plant the right tree. Real quick before we get to some other stuff, I see a lot of evergreens that are half bald. The bottom is sort of ruined. The top is sort of just barely hanging on. Is that something, or is that what is that?
So there's a lot of stuff, especially with the crazy year that we've had. So the first thing is you have to be able to identify the plant you're talking about, and the problem is most likely associated with a certain type of tree. So everybody sees an evergreen. Oh, I have a pine tree. Well, no, really, you have a spruce tree, or I have a they think everybody thinks it's a pine, but it's an arborvitae, or it's a spruce, or it's a hemlock, or it's something else. So you have to know what you're looking at, and conifer identification is not always that easy. So depending on what you actually have, you could have a number of different fungal problems. We could go all the way back to planting problems, because evergreen trees in general are not native. We've got a couple, one native pine and eastern red cedar is the only two evergreens that are native to Missouri. So they've all been planted, and most of the time not well.
Right. So most of the evergreens out there are the wrong tree at the wrong place.
Yep, absolutely.
And so they're dying, or they're barely hanging on, and they're sort of half look terrible.
Yeah, absolutely. Another thing to remember is that evergreens, as a general rule, do not like the wet spots like your bald cypress does. They like to be elevated. They're typically in mountainous regions and things like that. They like to be elevated, and they almost always want full sun. And people want to plant a row of evergreens underneath their giant trees, and they're shaded all the time. It's not going to work. So that's the type of thing that is, you have to have me or an arborist on site, or somebody knows what the heck they're talking about, and say, yeah, you can plant this here, and you can spend a couple $1,000s and plant 10 arborvitaes in a row, but they're not going to grow because there's no sunlight here.
Right, yeah. Interesting, because those evergreens are not going to come back. They're just going to get worse.
Right, yeah. They don't resprout like a deciduous tree does, and you have to also be careful when you prune them, because if you take too much off, it's just going to die back, and you're going to have nothing but sticks.
Everybody puts in a lot of arborvitae for shade and or privacy.
Absolutely.
Does that make sense?
It's super popular. There's a lot of good reasons to plant them. They grow really quickly. There's two main different types that people plant. The green giant arborvitaes get really big, like 45 feet tall. And then the smaller version is called an emerald green arborvitae. Couple things to remember about arborvitaes. Well, they're great. They are bagworm attractors, I guess. It's the favorite food of bagworms.
Bagworms?
Bagworms are a big pest certain times of the year. They can eat them and just destroy them pretty quickly. Another thing is emerald green, especially if you have deer in your neighborhood, you're wasting your time, because the deer are going to destroy these things.
Oh, the deer love the arborvitae.
Yeah, yep. Emerald green especially.
Oh.
Emerald green arborvitae.
So all you're doing is just planting food for the deer.
Feeding deer. That's all you're doing. And I mean, these plants are not cheap. They're not cheap to produce. People don't realize that if you buy a plant from a nursery, it's been growing for 5 or 10 years mostly already. So somebody's been taking care of that thing forever. So you're paying a couple $100 for it. It's because they've been watering it and caring for it and taking care of it.
Right, you're paying for the time it took to grow to that height.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you take that, and we go again. It goes back to right tree in the right place. Arborvitaes are great. Plant 10 of them in a row. If you have a ton of deer in your neighborhood that you see every night, they're probably going to get eaten.
Well, I mean, deer's everywhere. So you're saying arborvitae is not really a very good choice for the area.
It really depends. I've seen them thrive in certain areas, but like if you're in town and country or some of these wildwood, where we just there's hundreds of deer in your specific yard all the time.
Yeah.
They're not going to make it.
Interesting. So what's a better tree than an arborvitae?
I'm a big fan of the junipers. Again, I mentioned the native cedar trees, the eastern cedar.
Right.
Junipers, another version of that. So it's more native tree, more resistant to deer, more resistant to bagworms and different fungal diseases. Junipers are great, underused in my opinion. Norway spruce is a great one. I planted some of those at my shop when we did our landscape a few years ago, and the Norway spruces just do great. But that's it's going to be an option for a bigger tree.
Is there anything you don't know about trees?
There's some stuff. I
haven't figured it out yet.
There are smarter people than me, but I'm not going to tell you who they are.
Holy mackerel. All right, let's talk ash trees, because ash trees are all over the place. And if you get them treated, you will save them. If you don't, they will die.
We have been, that is 100% correct. We have been treating ash trees in the region for 15 plus years now. 95+% of the ones we've treated are still alive and healthy. We are still coming up on new customers that say, hey, I didn't know this before, but my tree looks terrible now. We've come across situations where we still can save them, but we're at the end of that season now. So if you have concerns with your ash trees, make a note of it or call me now, and we'll take a look at it in the spring.
Can you come across an ash tree that is savable and gets better?
Yes, absolutely. We do it all the time. So we have to make a determination, and I always tell the tree owner that your tree is likely to get a little bit worse over the next year or two, and then it's going to come back. And at that point, we probably should prune all the dead stuff out of it, because it's going to die back a little bit.
Right.
But we inject it with a high rate of a powerful insecticide called emamectin benzoate, and it kills these things, and it saves trees. 100%.
I cannot believe how well my ash trees are doing in my front yard. I mean, they're fantastic.
Yeah,
you've come in,
trees.
You've come in and treated them, and it's every 2 years.
Every other year, and it's pretty cheap, isn't it?
Very inexpensive, and you don't even give me a deal.
Right.
Even though I take care of you on the radio.
I charge you extra. I can't put up with your crap.
But the other ash trees in the neighborhood that aren't treated, you can see it's night and day. You don't need to be a genius to figure it out.
You can watch them die, and once you start to notice that, you start looking around and you say, well, that's an ash tree, and that's an ash tree, and all the dead ones are all ash trees. So you can pretty much make the correlation fairly easily.
Yeah. Okay. Good. All right. What else do we need to know?
Well, I did want to thank the window store. I know you just did live for these guys. The window store came out to my house and put all new windows and doors in my house, and it just looks fantastic. And it reinvigorates your love for the place you live. And I tell you, these guys did a great job. Pricing was excellent. Customer service was excellent. And I just wanted to thank those guys over at the Window Store.
The Window Store. I haven't heard of them in a while. The Window Store. Look at this. One sponsor taking care of another sponsor. They are good people. How was the price?
Oh, it was fantastic. You know, I talked a couple of years ago, like my pet peeves of what I will never do as a business owner. And I got a couple people to come out, and everybody else started at like 5 times the price. And then they're like, well, we can give you this discount and this discount and this discount. And by the time it's done, it comes right to where the Window Store just gave you the price and said, hey, here's your options. Here's your price. Call us if you want us to do it. And it's same deal.
Right.
You know, it was just less hassle. And they didn't, like you always say, they didn't sit at your kitchen table and waste 2 hours doing a stupid demonstration. They said, here's our windows. They're good windows. Put them in.
Kind of sounds like Timberline Tree Care.
Yeah, it's exactly the same way.
Here's the price. Do you want me? Great. If you don't, I'll see you tomorrow. See you next time.
100% correct. I'm not here to waste your time in the same way.
Right. Don't waste my time. Right. You need my help. Here's a fair price. Do you want it? Otherwise, leave me alone.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Lastly, Ben Barnett from Timberline Tree Care. We always end on this because this is really now my pet peeve because you taught me this. Mulch around the trees.
Yes.
This is a nightmare. And people, you want to really save your trees, you have to mulch it correctly.
Yes. You cannot stack mulch along the trunk of trees. Newly planted trees, old trees, the moisture held up against the tree encourages root growth where there's not supposed to be root growth. Those roots then wrap around the trunk and cause problems. It promotes fungus. It promotes a lot of problems. You cannot just keep piling new mulch on every year. Every once in a while, you have to take some mulch out. Mulch is great if it's done properly.
And not the volcano.
Yep. That's
not
exactly
the volcano.
what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, you want to make the flare on the bottom of the tree exposed.
Yep, you should absolutely see this. So kind of what we were talking about earlier with the trees planted too deeply from the nursery, you're essentially creating that situation even if it didn't exist by you're just stacking up soil and mulch along the trunk of the tree, and then the roots are way down, and it causes issues.
Now, let me ask you this question. We got a second here, and I love talking to you about trees. I planted a tree in my front yard. It was a Missouri, the Missouri tree is what? The
flowering dogwood.
The dogwood, right. Yeah, it was a dogwood. And so I had a retaining wall fail when I bought the house. So they put in a new retaining wall. And he dug it down, and there was a bunch of rock in there. Mm-hmm. And then he planted the tree almost like in the rocks, almost, and then put the dirt and the mulch on it. And the landscaper was like, oh, no, this is good. This would be good. That's a good way to plant a tree?
So especially a flowering dogwood, similar to the evergreens we talked about earlier, they do not like wet feet. They like good drained soils. So a good mix. A good, well-drained loam soil with some rocks is not going to hurt anything. A lot of places in the Missouri Ozarks, we have a lot of rocky soils, and the native dogwoods are doing great. The planted dogwoods in people's yards are not necessarily doing so great these days. I'm not giving up on them. They're just an amazing, beautiful tree, but they're really suffering in our area.
Because they're just not planted correctly?
Yeah. That's one they're putting in a place where they don't like it. They've got heavy clay soils, poor drainage. Dogwoods are understory trees. While we talked about the evergreens like full sun, dogwoods really prefer some shade. They like to be underneath the shade of a bigger tree. And if you have a really nice dogwood and then you have a big oak, that maybe the oak dies and you cut the oak down, then you will start to watch that dogwood just kind of decline because it's just getting burned up in the full sun at all times.
That's a really interesting point because when I put the dogwood in, it was strategic. He's like, no, you want to put it here, you want to put it there, you want to do it this way.
Sounds like you got the guy to talk to over there.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Well, I mean, I was well-schooled by Timberline Tree Care.
My son and I, we potted up 130 or so dogwood seedlings. We're going to try to get some going just, to give away and do, just to try to help people out and give them some seedlings and try to keep the dogwoods going. But we really want to promote planting them in the right spot.
Yeah, it's a beautiful tree.
Yep.
When it's all said and done, it's a beautiful tree. And then lastly, get rid of your Bradford pears.
Oh, yeah, invasive problem. Big time problem. If you drive down early spring or even this time of year, the last trees to lose their leaves in the medians and the highway are going to be the Callery pears, which are the hybrids from the Bradford pears. And then the first ones you see with all the white flowers are generally going to be the Bradford pears. And you can just get an idea of how they're taking over all these different spaces with the nasty. And when they hybridize and they replant themselves, they have nasty thorns and stuff on them. They're just
nothing good about them.
Not good trees.
And they split, and they're dangerous, and they land on people and cars and everything else.
Cause a lot of problems.
Timberline Professional Tree Care. What's the website?
STLtreecare.com.
STLtreecare.com. Ben Barnett, what's the phone number?
636-479-7475.
All right. Don't give Larry Thornton a better deal on his trees than you gave me. All right. Ben Barnett, thank you for the friendship all these years, continued success, and you're always welcome here. Thanks, buddy.
My pleasure. Thank you, guys.
928 here, Big 550 KTRS. Let's talk Lordo's Diamonds, another great sponsor of the show. Lordo's Diamonds in the heart of Ladue on Clayton Road. You need engagement ring, custom work, necklace, bracelets, earrings, anything to do with jewelry. Lordo's is your family jeweler, just like Timberline, just like Window Store. Lordo's is a family jeweler and a family St. Louis company that is proud to do the work. They'll do it right? They don't try and play any games. They give you a good quality price and take it or leave it, right? That's what they do at Lordo's Diamonds. So for all of your jewelry needs, whether it's a one-of-a-kind engagement ring or anything else, you need a watch, rings, earrings, bracelets, Lordo's or lordosdiamonds.com. Connor McCarthy in the St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center.
All right, McGraw, as we get into the late morning here, we're finally seeing some traffic clear up on the roads. 55 southbound no longer nearly as stop and go as it was, although there is still a little bit of traffic there. Really, the only main spot is 64 eastbound, right at the 170 merge. Still quite a bit of traffic there going on. Other than that, 270 at the 64 merge, starting to get moving along there, although there will be some construction going on throughout the rest of the day. This traffic report is brought to you by Dents Express. Drive time can be hectic with traffic, weather, and fender benders. Dents Express can help with hassle-free dent removal, minor collision repair, and hail damage repair. Free evaluations, and they take care of the insurance paperwork. They've got 2 locations on Manchester and Baldwin and in St. Charles. DentsExpressSTL.com. From the St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Connor McCarthy on the Big 550 KTRS.
Let's talk St. Mary's High School, because if you're looking for an all-boys Catholic education, St. Mary's could be a perfect spot for your young man who you brought home from the hospital yesterday. You blink your eyes, and all of a sudden you're talking about a high school. Why St. Mary's? Well, it's got the history and the tradition, but it's also got the future, because recently they were told by the Archdiocese, sorry, we're going to have to pull our support. And they were at a crossroads. And boy, did their history come and protect their future, because the alumni, the people who've graduated, the millionaires and the billionaires all got together and said, this is too important of an institution. They teamed up with unions and businesses, and they've now recently purchased their own building and their own land, throw in a couple of state championships. And guess what? St. Mary's has got it going on. The class sizes are increasing exponentially, and they're teaching the skills that are going to be needed for the 21st century, right? Not only book smarts, but also hands-on experience that these kids are going to need. They're going to 4-year institutions. They're going to 2-year trade schools. They're going right into the business community with the knowledge that they learned at St. Mary's to change the world. Would you like to learn more about an all-boys Catholic education? stmaryshs.com. Kids come from all over the region because of what they learn at St. Mary's to help change the world. stmaryshs.com. stmaryshs.com.
Health insurance can feel complicated, but Medica health plans are different. See, we're nonprofit, which means people first, not shareholders. And we're right here in St. Louis with affordable plans for local care you trust. Your doctors, your hospitals, to help you feel your best. With Medica, your health coverage can feel a bit simpler. And now, we're here for you. Medica Health Plans. You're not just covered, you're cared for.
Let's talk about a getaway where you're not spending all the time on the road. How about Innsbruck? Think about it. You could go from your desk to a canoe and do some fishing in about 25, 30 minutes. They've got A-frames, they got tree houses, or if you're looking for a place to live that's away from hustle and bustle, custom homes and condos as well. It is absolutely gorgeous. Have you been out? Have you looked? Go to Innsbruck-resort.com to find your getaway.
When you want to send flowers to a loved one for a birthday, anniversary, or that special occasion, call your friends at Walter Knoll Florist. Walter Knoll is family-owned and operated and offers custom designs by expert designers. A huge inventory and selection that only the largest florist can offer, with quality and care that no grocery store florist can meet. They have several locations in the St. Louis metro area to serve you. Order online today at WKF.com. That's WKF.com. Walter Knoll Florist, your personal florist since 1883.
If you're looking for your next home, think of First Community. Our Smart Choice Home Loan offers a 30-year fixed rate of just 6.531% APR to qualified borrowers, and you only need a down payment of 10%. Whether it's your first home, your forever home, or even a vacation home, be smart with a Smart Choice loan from First Community for all your savings and all your loans. Must qualify for membership. For terms and conditions, call toll-free 1-888-642-7969. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing lender.
I'm Mark Cantor. Here's why you can count on Cantor Injury Law.
My name is Michelle. I'm a litigation paralegal at Cantor Injury Law, and you can count on Cantor because we are smart, honest, and hardworking.
I'm Kevin Glenn, and a partner here at Cantor Injury Law. You can count on Cantor because we make your cause our cause.
No fee if no recovery. Please visit CantorInjuryLaw.com or call us at 314-628-9999.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Zero is your hero at HW Kia. Zero down, zero payments for 90 days, or 0% for 48 months. Even zero tariff pricing on every clearly marked new HW Kia in stock. Currently stuck in your loan or lease? Big D, the trade man, wants to get you released. Up to 120% over fair market value for your trade. Every clearly marked new HW Kia. Zero down, zero payments for 90 days, or 0% for 48 months. Even gas and all-wheel drive Sportage and Sorrento SUVs. Have a job clearing $450 a week? You're practically approved. So bring your trade and lease a new Seltos S, Nero LX, or Soul. Just $99 a month. $49.95 due. And you guessed it, zero security deposit. But when they're gone, they're gone. You heard right. Choose your new Kia and drive for $99 a month. That's less than the cost of a daily cup of coffee. Only at HWKia.com. On approved credit, not all qualify. Plus tax, title, license, 587, title, and registration processing fee. Negative equity refinance. New loan. Rebates and incentives to dealer. 24-month, 10,000-mile lease. $49.95 due. Offers not a combination. Expires September 6, 2025.
I'm Mike Robinson with Robank Properties. I want to buy your home. Any property, any condition, and always as is. I will pay top dollar with no contingencies and no inspections. You walk away with cash. So don't waste time and money making repairs and paying real estate commissions. Call me, Mike Robinson, at 314-283-0867. That's 314-283-0867. Or go to robankproperties.com. That's ROBANG properties.com.
I'm Mark Miller, owner of Miller Furniture and Mattress, your home for quality American-made furniture since 1927. We offer the largest selection of Amish-made furniture in the St. Louis area, plus quality living room furniture from Flex Steel and Smith Brothers. We carry top-quality mattresses from world-famous brands like Tempur-Pedic, Stearns & Foster, and Chatham & Wells. Shop our Belleville, Fairview Heights, Lake St. Louis, and Ellisville showrooms. At Miller Furniture, we put the family in furniture.
Now, back to McGraw. Presented by Londoff Chevrolet and Londoff.com on the Big 550 KTRS.
The only problem with the text line is it's much better to text your question when the guest is in the studio, not after he is gone. What is the magnolia that is native to Missouri? I don't know. Ask Ben if he could trim my neighbor's tree branches hanging over my roof. I would, but he's not here. But I do believe that if your neighbor's branches are hanging over your side of the fence, you can cut those branches down. Again, don't do it, and then when the cops come, say, McGraw told me to do it. However, check with your local authorities, or better yet, call Timberline Tree Care. I have the number for you. 636, no, is that the number? What's the number? I had the number. I guess I could do it. It's Timberline Tree Care, stltreecare.com, or 636-479-7475. 636-479-7475, or stltreecare.com. I told you the story. I met Ben during COVID. I was doing something in the office, and I was like, hey, do we have a tree guy? I got a question about a tree. And so I called him up, and he came out to the house, and looked like out of Central Casting. This lumberjack comes to the door. He's like, can I help you? And I was like, oh, hey. Became fast friends. The guy knows everything there is to know about trees. And then he couldn't take some trees down because they were interspersed with the electrical wires. And he said, I'm not allowed to touch those. You have to call Ameren. So subsequently, a few weeks later, unbeknownst to me, Ameren was coming around trimming the trees in the neighborhood. And so they come to my house, and they don't touch the trees. And so I stopped the guy, like, down the street. I was like, whoa, hey, hold on a second. My tree guy says he can't cut those trees down. You guys have to cut the trees down. And the guy from Ameren was giving me, no, he's mistaken. He's wrong. He doesn't know what he's talking about. No, we can't do this. We can't do that. And the guy from Ameren was giving me all sorts of grief. And I swear, as I'm standing here or sitting here, this is how this story went. I said, my guy, Ben Barnett from Timberline Tree Care, told me he can't touch those trees. Hold. Did you say Ben Barnett from Timberline Tree Care? Yeah. He was out here a couple weeks ago. Hold on a second. The guy calls up his boss, and the guy says to me, tell my boss what you just told me. And I said, Timberline Tree Care came at, okay, put the other guy back on the phone. Put the other guy back on the phone. And then I hear, do whatever the guy wants. And I was like, oh, well.
Name dropper.
It's Ben Barnett from Timberline Tree Care, because he is so well respected in the tree community that if Ben Barnett says something, they just do it. So
the E.F. Hutton of trees.
He is the E.F. Hutton of trees. Not that I didn't know that before, but that's just a great. And so he comes on the show from time to time, and we talk trees. And everybody loves trees, and no one knows the right trees to plant and how to plant them and the mulch problem. And he's done great for trees and shade and everything else. So we love to have Ben on. Let's see here. From the Country Club Car Wash text line. Could you ask him about the ball wasp nest that kills trees and how to stop them? No, but you can call him. Have your guest explain how much to spread mulch around the base of the tree. Yes, we did that. Make a note, I'm on an old farm, and I have a lot of black locust trees with heavy thorns. Is it a good idea to get rid of them? I called Ben to my house. When I moved to the house I'm in now, I called Ben. He came out. And I was like, I want to take this tree down. He says, I won't take that tree down. I was like, why not? He's like, that tree is not bothering anybody. It's a perfectly healthy tree. It's in a perfect spot. I won't let you take that tree down. I was like, what kind of tree guy are you where I want you to take a tree down? He's like, I won't do it. He's like, call somebody else. I will not take that tree down. I love trees, and I will not let you take that tree down. I was like, okay, I'm not taking the other tree down. He said, now that Bradford pear has got to go. And I was like, okay. Well,
the tree you didn't mind.
We'll take down the Bradford pear, right? But you call a guy to come out to the house, and you say, well, I need this tree down. No, you don't. No, you don't know what you're talking about. That's the kind of guy I like working on my house. I need this. No, you don't. You're an idiot. Do it this way. This is better. Let's see here. Am I crazy if I plant a golden rain tree in my yard? Call Ben. With Veterans Day approaching, a great guest for your show would be Brian Pischel. He's the executive director of Dogs for Our Brave. It's a wonderful charity that trains and provides service dogs for our wounded veterans. That is a great idea. We'll take a note of it.
I'm writing that down.
All right, good. Let's see here. Artificial Intelligence read Randy Carricker's book report on The Natural, and I received a failing grade.
That's fine.
Let's see here. Anything else? St. Charles is 93% white, according to the latest census, with all the other ethnic groups together making up 6.72%. That's not diverse, just not knocking it. I'm just saying diverse is not a good description of St. Charles. Look, I don't know. That census was 5-6 years ago. I don't know what the official numbers are, but living and working in St. Charles, I see, again, just anecdotally, I see a whole bunch of African Americans living there. I see a whole bunch of Latino and Asian and Indian. There's a huge Indian community in St. Charles. I see them everywhere, going to the store, hanging out at the bars, going to the dry cleaner, whatever it may be. I mean, there is a large. Now, is it as diverse as the city of St. Louis? No, obviously. But there's more today than there was yesterday, and there's more every single day. That was the point I was making. But when I was ultimately saying that Steve Ellman announced that he's going to rerun for county executive, and that's good for everybody. Lots of people from the text line also agreed as well, for what it's worth. 314-931-5877, 314-931-5877, or text your comments to 84126. Here from the 636. Agree on Steve Ellman, one of the best in the region we've ever had. Yay for Steve Ellman. He does a great job. A lot of K-pop demon comments, too. 9:43 here at Big 550 KTRS. We'll take a couple phone calls if we have time, and then we'll transition to Frank and Jill. So there. Let's talk about Rudy Beck, Jay Lennox, and Carolyn Stolzer. She's going to be on the show tomorrow. She's going to be on the show tomorrow. They run an elder care law firm. And why do you want to protect your assets? Well, that's obvious. You want to protect it for your parents, from your parents' generation to the kids' generation and beyond. How do you go about doing that? You call Rudy Beck, Jay Lennox, or Carolyn Stolzer from the Beck Elder Law Firm, and they will protect your assets. You built a lifetime collecting these assets, maintaining them, building them, protecting them. Now, you want to make sure they transfer to the next generation correctly. You want to make sure Uncle Sam doesn't gut whatever it is you got, right? That's where Rudy Beck comes in. All I can say is they protected us, and they saved us a whole lot of money, a whole lot of aggravation. And so now we've got everything all buttoned up and all signed off for the last generation and for the next generation. Because God forbid, if I get hit by a bus tomorrow, I got a 5-year-old I got to protect. And so you want to make sure that whatever little monies you got, you want to make sure it goes to the right place so they have a fighting chance if, God forbid, something happens to you and me. That's Rudy Beck. That's Jay Lennox, and that's Carolyn Stolzer. For 50 years, they've been helping St. Louis families do exactly this. 636-946-7899 or BeckElderLaw.com.
Okay, all signed up. Easy. Now let's run payroll. What the? Hey, girl. I'm you with more gusto. Nice. Who's that? New social media manager. Hired and onboarded with gusto. And spoiler, we're kind of famous now. Wait, we're famous? Oh, well, I'm famous. Payroll, benefits, and HR. Designed and built for small businesses. Choose a future with gusto.
Early detection is crucial in the fight against breast cancer. Surprisingly, even in women of average risk, abnormalities can be found. So even if you don't think you are at risk, screening is essential to prevention and saving lives. The Show Me Healthy Women program offers free breast and cervical cancer screenings to women ages 21 through 64 free of charge if you qualify. Please visit our website at health.mo.gov/showmehealthywomen or call toll-free 866-726-9926 for more information and to see if you qualify.
John Beal Roofing has been proudly serving homeowners and businesses in the St. Louis metro area on both sides of the river in Missouri and Illinois for over 3 generations. A dependable roof begins with a team you can count on, and that's exactly what you get with John Beal Roofing. Recognized as one of Roofing Contractor Magazine's top 100 roofing companies, John Beal Roofing offers 24/7 emergency service and industry-leading warranties, including a lifetime workmanship warranty for total peace of mind. From upgrading an aging roof or completing a full replacement, the team at John Beal Roofing delivers solutions that are built to code, built to last, and handled with expert care. John Beal also responds quickly with reliable storm damage services backed by decades of experience and 24/7 emergency support. Get started today for expert service and a free, no obligation estimate by calling 1-800-NEW-ROOF. That's 1-800-NEW-ROOF.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Jewels on Hampton pay some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, gemstones, coins, collectibles, and sports memorabilia. JewelsOnHampton.com.
Josh Gilbert here, and I'm with Jeff Zufall, Senior Tax Strategist and Wealth Advisor at Capital Advisory Group and the author of the #1 best-selling book on the new tax law, Keep What's Yours, and my co-host on Keep What's Yours every Saturday. Jeff, what do we need to know in October?
Josh, October is officially Financial Planning Month. The One Beautiful Bill Act locked in many of the tax laws set to revert back to the 2017 rules. But there were also changes to the tax code in this law, and we can help. Since 1976, thousands of businesses have relied upon the tax strategies offered by Capital Advisory Group to help them reduce their future tax liability and stop overpaying their federal and state income taxes. If you're not taking full advantage of the tax law and you feel like you're paying more than your fair share, then let us help you plan for 2026 and take advantage of the new tax rules.
Give Capital Advisory Group a call at 636-394-5524 or online at capitaladvisorygrp.com.
John, what are you doing? Get in my car. So why are you walking to work?
Thanks, man. It's these insanely high gas prices. They're draining my bank account. I can't afford to drive anymore.
Dude, don't walk. Just do what I do because I never pay full price for gas anymore. I use the free Upside app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Oh, wait. You're telling me you get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back every time I buy gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code PROFIT for an extra 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's promo code PROFIT. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, to PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code PROFIT for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code PROFIT.
Now, back to McGraw. Presented by Londoff Chevrolet and Londoff.com on the Big 550 KTRS.
All right, let's go to the phones here. Craig is on line 1. Craig, good morning. Welcome to KTRS Radio.
Hey, good morning, McGraw. I got a couple of criticisms.
Go ahead.
In your A block comments about the demographics of people on food assistance, you started off by saying 326,000 households, and then you said 326,000 people. Which is it?
All right, good question. Let me go to my notes here and let me see if I can find that here. It's funny you mentioned that because I think as I was saying that, I knew I was saying it wrong. I think it was 326,000 people and not households, but I'll do a double check on that.
Okay.
That's one. By the way, that's an awesome catch. You should be congratulated for calling me out on that.
Well, I walk every morning with the earbuds in, and I'm listening really closely. And I hear Jordana Miller in a 5-minute interview say right 14 times. Sometimes she says right twice in the same sentence. So when I hear somebody from ABC News trying to convince me by saying right the antenna goes up, and I really question whether they're right or not.
Well,
they're just trying
let me
to make me.
Let me defend Jordana Miller for a second. She does have a verbal tick. We all have them. Some are worse than others. Some come and go. I'm guilty of it as well. You talk for a living. You talk long enough, someone's going to find a tick. You're going to lean on a crutch or something. She does. Sometimes she's doing these hits. That she's working on, 2 hours of sleep.
They're 10 hours ahead.
10 hours ahead. She's living in a war zone. She's got kids. Her information is fantastic. So don't.
They are great interviews. Great interviews.
Thank you. But don't take a verbal tick and superimpose it as bad information. She's just got a verbal tick.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
the
information's still good. It's still informative, right? All I'm saying is she says right a lot, right? So
and she's very attractive, right?
I don't be honest with you, I don't think I've ever seen a picture of her.
Well, you got to.
Okay. All right, good to know. Anything else, Craig?
No, that's it.
All right, good. Thanks, Craig. By the way, I pulled up my notes here from the 6 o'clock hour. And the state of Missouri has 326,000 households may be affected.
That changes everything.
Yeah, 326,000 households. According to Mo Scout from yesterday, Mike Keogh issued a dire warning to Missourians that the government shutdown meant that SNAP benefits won't be available in November. The state of Missouri has no avenue from the governor's office. The state of Missouri has no avenue to cover these funds for over 326,000 households who may be affected. DSS encourages Missourians who may be affected to look at the potential of using their October balance to stretch into November if possible, given this situation. Additionally, WIC benefits, women and infant children benefits, are expected to run out in a matter of weeks. So there you go, 323,000 households.
Which is at least two people.
At least two people. Now, this is where it got a little confusing. The Federal Reserve said the city has 62,000 recipients of SNAP. So the state has 326,000 households. The city has 62,000 recipients.
Apples and oranges.
Apples and oranges. But those were the numbers I have. Those are the numbers we're going on. These numbers are not easy to come by. But Craig gets a star for calling me out. That's straight up legit, my friend. Way to keep me honest, and proud of it. Honored that you listen to the show, and in all seriousness, that's the way to keep me honest. And we're all guilty of saying things and whatever else. But for him to listen that intently and to call me out on it, thank you. It's an honor.
Right.
That you listen to the show, right? I think Jordana Miller, even though she does have a verbal tick,
we know it.
That is what it is. I'm sure I've got one. You know, right? Everyone.
But once you know it, you can't stop hearing it.
No, that's true. But also, if it's not, as a stutterer, I don't have enough time to get into this. They teach you that people don't listen that way. They don't listen to every single syllable you say. And so there's a lot of ums and ahs and you knows. And if you listen to anybody talk, you're going to hear those things.
And she's good.
But we're all human. Everybody has them. Everybody says, everybody says ums. It's a normal disfluency in our English language.
Right.
And it doesn't make you a terrible person. Let me talk about Neighbors real quick. Neighbors Credit Union, neighborscu.org. They have something called Debit All Day, right? Debit All Day is an account that will help you save some money and help you work in the 21st century with your money. It's digital, so you can work through the apps and everything else. They have checking, but more importantly, they don't have any fees, so they don't have any overdraft fees. So if you don't have any money, guess what? They're not going to charge you any fees because you don't have any money. One of the great things about Debit All Day, they also have smart accounts. at Neighbors Credit Union. Teach the next generation about financial literacy, right? Neighbors Credit Union. 8 area locations, to find the one nearest you. NeighborsCU.org. NeighborsCU.org. Craig, thanks for the phone call. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks for putting up with me. We will see you tomorrow at 6 a.m. So long.
The Frank and Jill Show.
Hi, it's Jill Farmer. On the next Frank and Jill Show, we'll have the story behind some juicy headlines with St. Louis Magazine's Sarah Fensky. Plus, meet a competitor on Netflix hot show, Is It Cake?
Frank Cusimano and Jill Farmer, weekdays 10 to noon, right here on KTRS, the talk of St. Louis.
You know what they say, you never get a second chance to make a first impression, and windows and doors are usually that first impression when it comes to your home. Dalco Home Remodeling custom makes their windows and doors, and better yet, they make them here in